playing League increases your ability to accurately power scale. Don't ask me where I got that source.
So don't quote me on that. All right.
Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying.
So did you fucking pass out near the end of yesterday, or did you just stay quiet? No comment there, huh? All right. Well, at any rate, let me go on the DMC Reddit while we're searching for a match, and let's go ahead and pull up. Oh, okay. So we already have footage of DMC3 freestyle in action. It seems. No, freestyle is okay. No, freestyle is the other. What did they call it?
Are we ready, Zima?
Yeah, no, we're already streaming.
Wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Mangler, can you hear me? I can hear you.
Okay. You weren't talking, so I was like,
wait,
did he get dropped into the ether again?
Wait, can you not hear me?
That was quick.
Hello.
Are we starting the stream yet, or are we just going to give it a little bit of time?
Mangler. Okay, hang on. Oi, Mangler.
Yeah, I can't hear you.
Here, let me try switching this input device.
Hang on, let me leave. Maybe that will reset. Okay, can you hear me now, Zima?
Yeah, Mangler, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so the problem.
Good morning, boys.
Oh shit!
Morning, Balrog. Are you eating? Are you eating, Balrog?
What did you miss?
I said, are you eating?
Nothing.
It sounded like you had your mouth full when you said that.
Of course I am. It's work time. It's time to eat.
Alright, so fine.
It is
fucking Australians.
Oh, fuck, it's 5:30 in the morning and we're having bacon, eggs, and pancakes.
That sounds like a good breakfast, actually. I hate you now. I hate you even more.
The breakfast of tradies.
At any rate, okay, so the new DMC announcement came out, and to no one's surprise, me and Mangler already called it, and so did like the entire DMC community. It is a regular full custom to a degree.
Well, it's actually a regular full custom, but on crack. So what he said was that you can now like weapon swap with like the ZL, ZR buttons, the back buttons. But he also said that you can now, instead of having to cycle through them, you can just select what weapon you want via a radiant dial.
Wait, hang on. They know what that is?
Yeah.
You know, I thought after how fucking stupidly they designed Nero's Devil Bringers, they weren't aware of a dial system.
I don't think they came up with it until after 5, and they were like, shit, we probably should have included this in the main game.
Yeah, because I was gonna fucking say, when I heard there was a radial dial, I was like, why the fuck didn't Nero have this?
Yeah, honestly, I think for Nero's specifically, it was about resource management. There wasn't an excuse for Dante's, though. I don't know why they didn't have Dante have that. That was screwed.
I mean, you're talking resource management, but it's like, the problem with Nero's Devil Bringers, in my personal opinion, is you have to build them with a pre-plan in mind. So if you get in a situation where you're like, shit, I wish I had Rawhide. Oh shit, Rawhide's number 4 in my list of 8. I have to blow through 4 of them to get to fucking Rawhide.
Well, that's what Insuno wanted. He wanted it to be based on pre-planning rather than
that's
on the fly.
Stupid.
I mean, sure, but I'm saying like that's what his intent was. Whereas like for Dante, you don't really have an excuse because they never really made it clear at any point that they were like, yeah, we should just cycle through Dante, because I don't think they were gonna make like an exception that was like, oh hey, if Nero can't do it, Dante can't do it. I think it just slipped their mind for him.
They're like, they don't need it.
This is why I'm saying, like, if they're giving this treatment to DMC3, mark my words, they're going to do the same thing for DMC4. They're going to do something for DMC4 that improves the base version, probably allowing you to unequip weapons and the same dial and stuff.
Well, I don't think DMC4 needs the dial unless they.
It does. It does. It fucking does.
Dude,
it needs
like
it needs the ability to unequip your weapons. Like
you
the
just
fact
want to
that
get
you
rid
can't.
of fucking Lucifer.
Well, it's also the fact that like I need to have the ability to swap to Lucifer before Gilgamesh. Like, why? I don't want to go to Gilgamesh in the air. Like, who cares about Gilgamesh in the air? Nobody.
So did they say how the reticle is gonna work? Like, is there gonna be a little time slow for a second, or like?
No, he didn't mention a time slow. We might get some gameplay footage of it soon, but
Because I was gonna
as
say,
far as
if you want to swap in midair to like a specific weapon, you're gonna need like some sort of time dilation to happen.
well, I mean, the swapping for weapons is already like a frame or whatever. So I'd imagine the Radiant thing is just the same. It just has a display. That's the only difference. So it will make the sound like every time you like, swap.
Well, yeah, like, I mean, I get what you're saying, but it's like let's say you're in the middle of a combo midair and you need to go to this specific weapon, but it's like on the other side of your like fucking radial. Let's say it's in one of those fucking corners. When you activate the radial, it should like pause for like a second and let you swap. Is what I'm saying.
Well, the radial counts for both the melee and the guns, so you just hold whichever melee or whichever like gun that you like. If you want a gun, just hold that button and then the swap. Okay. I understand. Like, we'll get more details on it, but in theory, it sounds. Well, this already exists in like the PC versions of the style switching stuff, and it's pretty fucking awesome. But it's not. It wasn't really awesome until like the second version of the HD collection because like all of the previous mods were kind of shit in their first version and required continuous updates and management.
Yeah, no, like I mean, definitely this game's gonna be the most polished, and they did confirm the third announcement's gonna be a feature, so I suspect the third announcement's gonna give something to Virgil.
So the JoJo already did like a sort of a video on some of the stuff he saw. Based on he did a video on 2-player DMC3 because someone in his audience messaged him that like on the listing for DMC3 on either the Nintendo Store or it was either the eShop or some other website that has the listing for it that showcases that the amount of players is listed as 1 to 2 players, which is kind of weird because we don't technically count Virgil in the Arkham fight as a 2-player thing because it's a mechanic that isn't explained to you.
That might be.
It might be
Nightmare, or not Nightmare, Shadow.
No, in DMC3.
Yeah, Shadow. Can't you?
No, DMC3.
Doppelganger. My bad. Fuck. They all look. They're all the same.
Well, I was saying that might be true, but I mean.
Well, here's the thing about.
I find that unlikely because they don't explain that to you.
Maybe.
So there's no way. Yeah, no, they don't explain that Doppelganger is technically a 2-player mode.
No, what I mean is like maybe they'll explain it this time around.
I mean, even if they do, they might allow a system that allows you to connect to like other switches, and it's like they can connect into your lobby, and then as long as you have Doppelganger, maybe that's the system.
That'd
but
be
like,
cool.
I'd still take that. I mean, that's not a fully fledged 2-player mode. I still want 2-player BP. I'll take that any day. I would also love I mean, this is a bit ambitious. Like, so the bare minimum of this that I would think is like the 2-player doppelganger thing, where like connecting via an online feature. That's like the best reasonable one. Then maybe a more reasonable, but not completely out of the picture, still unlikely, but not out of the picture, 2-player BP.
All right.
Now here's the wet dream. 2-player DMD.
2-player Dante was that just fucking. Player 2 has to be Virgil.
Well, actually, hang on. I have a feature. I already have a feature on Mixer when I was broadcasting Sekiro yesterday. When I had the broadcast relay up, it allowed me the ability to share one of my controllers with my viewers.
Yeah, so what Mixer allows you to do is it allows you to let your audience play the game too if they have an Xbox.
So, in theory, you and I could do a co-op DMD mode with Doppelganger.
I'm not sure.
I'd have to share your screen though.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm not sure if it works with co-op, like stuff like that, but yeah, I'm done
Well,
trying.
it would have to be because you're sharing a local controller,
Why and
are you
how would
not?
that even work? Reggie, are you referring to the co-op or are you referring to the weapon swapping?
Yeah. What type of switching will we have next? I will answer that after we answer this next question. Tune in next
Player
time.
switching.
Yeah, I was about to say now swap characters. Like next, swap games mid animation. It's just like you just stop the frame and then you just swap during the Moondus boss fight. You're like, yeah.
Perfectly combo into the other games in the series.
Swap into DMC5 Dante during Mission 7. That'd be so balls to the walls insane. I wouldn't want that because that would completely break it, but that would be hilariously memey.
It actually has the same animation going through it too.
Yeah.
Doesn't even update Dante's model, it just looks the
So,
exact same.
so Reggie, what are you referring to? The weapon switching or the co-op thing via Mixer or the other version of co-op that I was referring to?
It's actually going to be a full campaign co-op. You know, that thing we wanted in DMC5, they're going to give it to us in DMC3. And not for everybody, just Nintendo Switch.
Did somebody really put the picture of Dante being like, what the hell is all this at the opening of Smash Ultimate?
Good.
I mean, it is better than Kirby just sitting there.
So, I heard Blight sucks, or at the very least they're not that good because everyone else got buffed.
No, so Blythe is kind of new. Bye, Balrog. Oh, the co-op thing. We'll get into that. Let me cover Blythe first. Blythe is kind of weird because she's like, okay, as far as her speed, that's like her main negative is that her speed is slower than most Fire Emblem characters, and it's trash. But like, she has really good like air control and speed, so she can just like nair you. So like if you get near her, she just does a neutral air, and it has the range to just like smack your ass. She also has like a Falcon Punch that has more armor and is better. She has like the best tether grab in the game that can like get her from the bottom of the screen to the top of the ledge. And it's also recovery that spikes people if it makes contact with them. So she's got like a lot of really unique moves and like better mechanics of things that haven't been like shown for other characters. And she also has like an arrow that she can't cancel out of, but it's like the fastest moving projectile game.
What's the charge up? Oh, my.
Usually when the DLC fighters drop, it's pretty laggy because everyone's going out buying it on the Nintendo servers, so it drops online drops considerably more than it does normally. But this is also slower than in person, so Byleth in person with the arrow, like a fully charged arrow or charged arrows, has pretty fast freaking projectiles. I mean, like, they are very fast, and she is faster than you give her, like, she's faster in close quarters than she should be, and she's faster than Ike, but she's not the slowest. I'd say she's solidly mid-tier, but, you know.
Alright.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
anyway, we'll go ahead.
I was saying, because from the fucking headlines from the videos I saw, they were saying, like, she was too fucking slow and shit like that.
Yeah,
apparently everyone else, or like a shit ton of people got buffed while she came out as well, or they came out.
Yeah, a bunch of people. Let's talk about DMC first, and we'll get to Smash in a minute because this is a DMC stream.
Alright, so
Reggie, yeah. So the co-op thing, Reggie. When I say co-op, I'm saying that for practical reasons, I believe it's most likely that if they include a co-op section, it will be at bare minimum like an online feature that allows you to connect to someone that has Doppelganger active. And like you can do that. You can connect to like, you can have someone connect to your lobby and join your game or whatever. And like when you have Doppelganger active. And since Doppelganger is already a 2-player mode, you just need to plug in another controller. And then the one that I wanted that was a little bit more reasonable for co-op purposes, but not like something that I expected as much, was co-op BP. And then there was like, you know, co-op DMD mode, like main campaign co-op. That's the one I think is the most unlikely, but that would be a dream. So that would you would just have online features that connect you to another game. As far as the mixer thing that I was talking about, I don't know how it works specifically. not everyone uses doppelganger, but like if it's explained, that's because most people don't even know that doppelganger has a 2-player mode, and you don't have the ability to regularly connect to people because there are no online features. You have to get someone you know in person, and DMC is not that popular of a franchise compared to some of the bigger franchises, so most friends that you have are probably not going to know about it. Whereas if you connect to people who are playing it regularly, oh hell yeah, they'll be on board with you, like joining your lobby.
So, are you gonna purchase DMC3 again?
I mean, I only purchased it once, which was a gift for someone. It was purchased for me because I asked for it for like a birthday and a Christmas gift, but I always assumed everybody else did that because it was convenient.
No, yeah, it's because I think I remember you saying you didn't want to buy it again on the Switch.
I didn't want to buy it on the Switch if it gets ported to the HD collection. Then I'll get pissed off. I'll get really angry. I'm just thinking that
they haven't announced it yet. That's the problem. They haven't announced that these changes are coming to the other ones.
Yeah, that's why I'm worried. As far as the mixer thing, I don't know. I'll have to test that out. But like, Zim, if you're up for it, we could test that out a little bit later, like today or like one of these other days this week, maybe this weekend.
I need to buy Game Pass actually, because they added Tekken 7 to Game Pass, and I've always wanted to try that game out, the juggling simulator.
Nice. So basically, it's only you can only play co-op if you have it active, and then when you deactivate it, it goes away. I mean, yeah, that's always how doppelgangers work. This is assuming they go that route. More than likely, if Capcom's going to include a co-op system in an earlier game, they're going to put it in BP. Like, I don't see
everyone's just going to fucking hate them about DMC5 even more.
Yeah, well, no, they will, but they're already getting hate from DMC5. They're getting hate from Virgil not getting included. What the fuck? Like, you think they're going to stop at, like, co-op Bloody Palace? Like, we don't need co-op Bloody Palace as much as we need Virgil. Get the fuck out of here. Nobody's gonna argue that. Like, I know, I want both of those things, but no one here is demanding co-op Bloody Palace. Like, we give our arm and our left nuts for Virgil. We would not do that for co-op Bloody Palace. We'd be like, fuck that, mods. Like, I mean, we still love co-op Bloody Palace. I get it. It looks amazing, but like, again, like, V's not a fully fleshed out character. Dante has issues. Nero doesn't really have issues, but then like the breakers, like the breakers in BP get limited by the fact that you can't use the DLC ones, and you only get a limited bumps every like 20 stages.
What the hell? Do you know what the point of not being able to use the fucking DLC breakers was?
I have no idea.
I heard someone saying it was something about like the score system, because I guess there's a ranking to it. And they
I'm not
DLC
sure.
weapons would or the DLC arms would make it unfair.
I'm not sure at all, but like, I mean, why would you have to restrict Dante's? Like, oh, a Cavalier with no hyper armor having an air stinger, broken.
I think it has to do with Cavalier's fucking air stinger. I guess having moves that other people don't have would make it unfair for the leaderboards. I guess is what Capcom was thinking, from what I understand.
Well, you can only unlock BP after you beat the game, so like.
Yeah, but like again, the DLC weapons don't come like free in the game.
I mean, the main difference is just like Pasta Breaker, Sweet Surrender, which are useless. Mega Buster, which doesn't have great damage output, but is good for dodging.
Sweet Surrender is not useless.
It is useless.
It is not useless. A free fucking health up is so fucking useful.
Yeah, three boxes when enemies hit you for way more than that. And you lose one of your precious like devil breakers. Like,
trust me, they're not precious. There's like only 3 that are good.
Pasta Breaker gets beaten by the fact that people already plan their loadouts, and that Overture has a more powerful blast in its detonation. Mega Buster, its main utility is for combos off of the charge shot and for its dodge animations, but at that point you could just pick Gerbera or just like use your triple jump or your air taunts or something. The only one that really is like useful in the BP context, Mega Buster is great in boss fights, but like
in one
GB01 is the main
fight, does Buster shine in?
Virgil's. Virgil literally can't touch you, because your slide is literally just a buff table hopper. Like he just tries to hit you, and he's like, "What the fuck?" Like, I can't get this guy. You could also just juggle him with like the basic charge shot from the Buster, and then like the what's it called, the breakage.
I've never found a use for that fucking Buster arm. I thought it was so fucking useless. It's
I
projectiles
thought it
don't
was
do enough
useless
damage.
until I tested that, but
I mean, like the cool part was that it changed your animations, but I'm like, eh.
I never thought that was useful. But then I was like, oh wait, it changes the iframes in the animations too, because
Does it make your
your
jump?
roll. Yeah. Well, I don't know about the jump. I haven't tested the jump because the jump looks more vulnerable because Nero is literally spreading himself out. But whereas at least he's doing like a backflip, so I could say like during certain points he's probably not getting hit. Whereas the roll, you're like, oh no, he's never getting hit because like at least he has to roll his body. He's literally sliding, like he's just going underneath you.
I mean, I just say I did fucking Pandora or Nirvana's DMC5.
Yeah, they just
No,
give you like ultimate DLC instead of Virgil. They give us literally everything else. They give us like Bloody Palace co-op, and then they give us like all the weapons from the previous games and like new game modes, new bosses, and expansion, but no Virgil.
they'll even
And
bring
it's
back
like,
old bosses remastered. They bring back the Mundus and Argos X5, but no Virgil.
and they make them better with brand new mechanics, and they rebuild them from the ground up, and it's like the best DMC game ever, but no Virgil. And then it's like, well, how did this happen? And like conference call later, and like Capcom's was like, all right, we have a decision to give them literally everything,
Or
or just a
Virgil.
Virgil DLC. It's like, and it's like that meme where it's like, give Virgil DLC or draw 25 cards, and it's like
They just
25 cards. Yeah, so that's I'm now. Now we need to talk about like what the weapon switching will entail as far as like the balance of the game.
First off, there is no more balance.
Well, the style switching was mainly going to break that, but weapon switching, like you have to understand that the guns for the most part aren't going to do anything in the context of weapon switching unless you're at gunslinger.
Well, and now
Because
you can be whenever you want.
well, yeah, but I'm saying like you still have so much stuff. Like Dante has so much more stuff to manage now. Even for players that are used to this, even for veteran DMC3 players or people who play it regularly or people who played 5 and loved 3 and have a shitload of muscle memory, most of them, like over 95% of them, have never dealt with style switching in DMC3. So they're not familiar with that.
Imagine
Even
being
then,
able to chain fucking spiral into your melee attacks and then just keep swapping the spiral to fucking hit people with it.
this is like the first time we've had 6 fully fleshed out styles with like at bare minimum 3 fully fleshed out guns and swords and like 2 extra weapons. This is more weapons and stuff than we've ever had, even in DMC5. Because DMC5 didn't have like 2 extra styles and did nerf a shitload of things from the previous games. Like it nerfed Royal Guard into the ground.
Oh man, Quicksilver with all of this is just gonna be a fucking nightmare.
We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see if Quicksilver chains into other styles. Yeah, it's gonna be a nightmare unless they make adjustments. If it doesn't, if it like deactivates the moment you style swap, I think it'll be fine.
They basically
94.
made Dante like actually comparable to Virgil now. Is honestly what I'm gonna say. Like Dante has.
More, I would say worse because like even though he didn't have the DPS, it's like you couldn't hurt him when he had Quicksilver. Like I mean, sometimes you get hit, but like you're just invincible basically. So as long as you found a strategy that gets you DT, like enemy stepping, taunting, and then dodging whenever, you just go back into that and like skip entire portions of boss fights because of Quicksilver, which was like really stupid.
I think that might be the third feature they're gonna announce actually. That you can use Doppelganger and Quicksilver with other styles.
Oh, I don't know. That would be like a waste of features. But I'm not
How
holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath for playable lady, but you know, still
again, so
there.
they said features. My money is either going to be something for Virgil, or it's going to be like a clarification on one how Dante works with his things.
I doubt they would. No, they're not going to waste that announcement. Not when they did style switching and weapon swapping. It's going to be something big. Again, the weapon swapping that they introduced isn't just normal weapon swapping. It's Radeon swapping. So you can literally select whatever you want via a dial.
I have one crazy Hail Mary prediction. It's not going to happen, but I have just one crazy Hail Mary prediction. The final style or the final feature is going to be kit swapping. You can put Virgil's Yamato on Dante, and you can put Dante's weapons on Virgil.
I wouldn't even know what to say about that because I've never even considered that idea. That sounds like a mod fantasy. But like, if they did that, okay, that would break the balance of the game entirely. Virgil would be so fucking busted. Virgil in the mods has Quicksilver. I'm not sure about Doppelganger, but he has Quicksilver, which is insane because he's already so busted in that game as far as his like damage output. You give him the ability to stop time, like what?
I'm just gonna call it now. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the next. That's gonna be the next feature. I'll call
but like now. you want to give Dante the ability to have Yamato when he has Trickster. Just runs. He just runs away and he literally becomes Virgil because he just runs away in safe dashes and fires. At least Virgil has to like teleport to somebody, and it's like risky because you might back up into a wall or something. You could just dash 3 times. Like, wait, that dash didn't work. Let me dash again. I'm safe.
I'm telling you, man. If again, we already have weapon swapping, we already have style swapping. The final protocol,
kit
the
swapping.
final step is kit swapping. Gonna be 100%.
Well, okay. If we're talking about this just being swapping things, yeah, it's either that or character swapping. I don't know how that would work. It's like you go to a divinity statue, pick Virgil.
I think it'll just be weapons. I don't think they'll do styles too. But if they do styles too, then like every character's gonna you'll be busted with no matter who you play as.
Well, that wouldn't really make sense for Virgil because like if you're just giving animations to certain so there is a utility to giving like for example, Yamato to like a devil arm with its unique animations, even if it has the same animations and stats as Virgil, which it most likely would have if they included that feature. It has utility to Dante having it because Dante is Trickster and Royal Guard. Like, he can punish people with Yamato different ways than Virgil can with Darkslayer. And, like, Virgil's also the agility of other moves like Lunar Phase and Rising Sun and Stinger. Like, he can take advantage of his kits differently. Whereas I don't think there's really utility to giving, like, Ebony and Ivory's basic blasts and shotguns to Virgil. Because Virgil's summon swords just power creep all the guns in the game. I'm also not sure like how they would be able to do that properly because Virgil literally wouldn't you would have to kit swap with him. Like you would have to give him all of Dante's guns for him to use Gunslinger and Swordmaster. Whereas you could make animations for him. You can make unique animations for him having Trickster or Royal Guard. But like where Dante doesn't have to do any of that because he would just be getting Virgil's weapons.
I'm gonna go on a limb here and say since they're not trying too hard with this, it'll just be the weapons. I don't think it'll be the actual fucking styles. Maybe they'll let you put Quicksilver on Virgil, but I'm pretty sure it'll just be the weapons.
They might just be like, hey, you can use Rebellion with Virgil and then Yamato Dante, and that's it.
Well, I would certainly hope they would give us something other than Rebellion. The Force Edge is just a better version of Rebellion.
I'm going to say only Dante benefits from this transaction because it's a brand new weapon for him, but Virgil just gets like a shitty Force Edge. He's just like, wait, drive? All I hear is bad round trip. Like,
I'm going to say if they do it with like weapons, what they'll do is they'll give Virgil access to probably Agnya and Rudra and Nevan, just like so you can like do that with Virgil. But I don't think any way it'll balance over to Virgil if in this situation.
When's the next chapter? What is it? Visions of V? I don't know. It'll be probably, well, I think it's in February?
I think it's like February 6th.
So, I mean, some people, I heard a lot of comments in this, in one of the fucking chats for DMC that, and a pretty big argument that like DMC like style experience system needs to be changed because now we have 4 styles, so the game is heavily unbalanced. They weren't arguing like what's it called? They weren't arguing that the enemies or their design or the bosses need to be changed because the difficulty of them is going to drop significantly, and even casual players are going to dominate them once they realize like exploits with Quicksilver, which the only exploit with Quicksilver is just activating Quicksilver. And yeah, that's a little busted for higher difficulties. So I hope they were talking about that, but like they started talking about like the XP farm or like the amount of XP it needs. They just like remove what?
So they're arguing like to remove experience points from the game?
Yeah. Like either to have the styles at max or well they didn't argue, they just said like change the system. Some of them argued that like oh hey, they like their forced progression system, just remove XP from freestyle mode altogether. And I'm just like, wait, so are you arguing for the styles to be at max level from the beginning of the game?
No, if they swap like that would they have to do the way DMC4 and 5 have done it with Blood.
I was gonna say like DMC5 with the red orbs is bad. I tried to. They're pretty one-sided because I had to explain like people already farm 1 and 2 for like high mission ranks to get red orbs, as well as the boss fights on 13 or 20 for the same reason. Because 18, you already get so much experience. Other versions of 3 didn't take more than 2 playthroughs to level up most stuff unless you were invested in using one particular style. And I can't see current players doing that. I didn't really say that I was against it. They were just like, oh yeah, obviously having 6 styles at once will take about 6 times that. And I'm like, no, because for one, you don't level up Doppelganger and Quicksilver. You don't need to get Royal Guard and Trickster to level 3. In fact, the only style you need to get to level 3, as far as its practicality, is Swordmaster.
Oh, the Swordmaster?
Yeah, because, like, other than that, maybe Gunslinger if you just use Ebony and Ivory. Other than that, like, most guns are, like, really, really buffed by Gunslinger, specifically. Like, Artemis is shit without Gunslinger. Kalina Ann isn't, but like...
still kind of, like... Really
yeah, but like the difference is that you can't jump and air hike in the air with Kalina Ann. Like you can air hike, but you can't do anything with it. So you're just like when you jump and air hike with it, you're just like literally stuck there doing nothing.
Oh, you know, I think I might know another feature they might introduce for a third one. Have air hike be a basic ability on all fucking weapons.
No, it's gotta be like big enough to make a difference. New abilities, unless they added a ton of new abilities, air hike on all weapons is not good enough.
But that should be in the fucking game. It's ridiculous.
It should be, but that's not something that I think they'll announce. It's not significant enough. It does make a difference, but it's nowhere near the level of difference that like style switching does, or like style switching fundamentally changes the entire balance of the game. And including, it does change the XP farming to, I get that, but like, this argument that it's like, it's gonna take more time now, or it's like less balance is stupid, because it would take the same amount of time regardless whether you had one style, because people who play with one style, and I guess I don't know what I'm talking about, because, you know, I've jumped through like 5 different DMC discords over the past 2 years, and various chats and shit, and I've asked people on and on and on and off, which styles they prefer, and they seem to tell me that on their playthroughs, on their very first playthroughs, on their second playthroughs, they go through one style specifically because they're interested in that one. Usually it's Trickster. If it's not that, then it's Swordmaster, because nobody does Royal Guard, and very few people do Gunslinger unless they want to do cheese, or unless they just really love guns. I happen to do both because I love both. But like, this idea that you would just... that it would be heavily unbalanced because, I mean, like, it takes multiple playthroughs. It's like, it's not even like they're arguing, like, they're just arguing the amount of time it takes. And I'm like, dude, do you know how much time it takes to farm? Like, I didn't get to tell them this because I just told farming doesn't take that long. I guess they assume like I meant like farming in like Souls or World of Warcraft or an RPG game because he brought it up like RPGs was the thing and I'm like dude like I can beat even with like pretty like rusty even with all the muscle memory I have I get beat DMD 5 or DMD DMC3 Virgil with restrictions with no DT explosion and no kick jump. Like no like enemy step stuff.
Imagine
and no
restricting yourself to not abusing the mechanics in the game.
no and no Quicksilver. So that's with those restrictions I can beat him in less than 5 minutes on the hardest difficulty. So if we put a person in there with style switching, the ability to abuse whatever they want, because dominant game strategy is a thing. Once players figure out what works the most, they'll use it regardless of whether it makes the game fun because it's optimal.
Yeah.
And the ability for them to experience fun circumstances only occurs if they can make it through most of the circumstances, and they have to use dominant game strategy to get to that point. So
in order to have fun, you have to fucking literally cheese all the way through the game to get to the
well, I'm saying no, you don't have to cheese. You just have to use the best way possible that you can find, so that you become good enough to where you can start taking more risks. If that makes sense. Doesn't necessarily have to be cheese. It can be. A lot of times it is.
It is.
Quicksilver. But it's not most of the time. Because like most of the time when you're playing through the game for the first time or even for the second playthrough, there's a shitload of mechanics you don't know about. And we're not even considering bosses. I'm just talking about like stuff in Dante's kit and its interactions with the basic enemies that aren't like really super stupid, like the Enigmas or the Blood Goyles or the Soul Eaters. I'm just talking like the sins. So there's so many other levels to this conversation, and I was just like, look, farming, for reference, if you think it's going to take 5 minutes for someone to go through Mission 1 on their first try, you're delusional. If you think it's going to take them 5 minutes to go through Mission 2 on your first try, you're also delusional, because you're arguing to me that on their first try, they're going to survive the Hell Vanguard on DMC3 when they've never played a DMC game before, or if they've only played DMC 1. When, like, really? Are we forgetting? Are we forgetting that DMC is like the most difficult game, one of the most difficult games of all time? And I mentioned this, it's just like, it wasn't really difficult for me that time, and it's like one person responds to that. I'm like, wow, I guess that means like all those people's, like it's thousands of people's votes against your one belief that it wasn't. Which even then, I think you're probably lying to yourself.
I mean, again, though, but that was because DMC3, especially for Dante, really... Wait, Mangler, do you have a mixer?
Yes, I do have a mixer.
I believe he was streaming Sekiro the other day.
Yep, and I was dying, too. I was on Discord, so you can just jump into, like... I mean, I did put up a chat there, but nobody was talking, and then I ended up moving the broadcast relay around, because apparently when you have the chat on Mixer, it, like, triples the size of the broadcast relay. So, like, for me, when I'm looking on my screen, the broadcast relay is at the bottom. It's just like a small rectangle, right? It doesn't really get in the way. When I add the chat, it, like, quadruples the size of the rectangle and actually starts taking over portions of the screen. And I'm just sitting here like, I need to see my items at the bottom half of the thing. Like, this is very problematic.
Yeah, no, the reticle is the chat box is one of the biggest problems with Mixer, in my opinion. Like, I understand you need to have it for streaming, absolutely, but they didn't do it in such a good, they didn't do it in a good way. It's a massive fucking chunk right there.
I mean, also, I mentioned to him, like, hey, you need so many red orbs getting paid for all basic abilities, not to mention blue orbs, purple orbs, various weapon skills, and gun upgrades. And this ties into if the game wasn't difficult, your argument would be stronger. Like, I get it. Like, there wouldn't be a problem if the game wasn't so difficult. Problem is, DMC3 in its vanilla version, which is just 25% more difficult, it's only 25% more difficult because it's scaled to hard mode. Well, actually, it's 50%. But it's only 50% more difficult, and it was basically unbeatable for most people who played it.
Okay, but to be fair though, that was because the hard difficulty was normal difficulty.
Yeah, no. That was the hard. That's just hard mode. Okay, that's just 50% more difficult, and the fact that yellow mode existed. Yellow mode still exists in the SE version, and it's not explained to people what yellow and gold difficulty are. If that's true, if yellow and gold difficulty is explained, okay, then the farming becomes completely different because now people are always going to pick gold on their first try. They're never going to pick yellow. But there are shitloads of people who pick yellow. They're just like gold, yellow. I'll just pick yellow.
I honestly, I remember playing as Virgil for the first time, and I had no fucking clue what the fuck this meant. So I was just like, I'll pick yellow.
Right. Like I don't think they're going to change that. They might. That'd be kind of cool if they did. But part of what makes that game difficult.
Though, the internet exists now. So now, like, there's gonna be like, watch. I guarantee you, before DMC3 Special Edition on Twitch comes out, you're gonna have a top 10 things you need to know before you play DMC3, and it's gonna say yellow and gold difference. I guarantee.
Yeah. Reggie, it's the other way around. Yellow is the one with no continue. You have to have yellow orb to continue.
Yeah,
and
I
you
never
get
really noticed that because I played Virgil, so I was never in a situation where I needed to continue until I was like in Dante must die, and I'm like, oh, I have no gold orbs.
Yeah, if you play yellow mode, if you play normal difficulty, which the very first playthrough I did was on yellow because yellow or gold. I'm like, well, I don't really like the color gold, so I'm gonna pick yellow. Like that was literally my that was my thought process. I was like, well, I mean, I kind of feeling yellow right now. I didn't know what they meant.
That makes no fucking sense. Well, okay, so yellow orbs in DMC1 were your continues. So when you play on yellow mode, you have to buy your continues.
Yeah, just like in DMC1, it makes sense that you get them. So when you play on gold orb, not only have normal continues now because you don't have the yellow orbs, you can revive on the spot. And you can only get 3 of them as opposed to getting as many yellow orbs as you want.
No, you have a cap of 99 yellow orbs.
Yeah.
No,
okay, it's pretty much unlimited at that point because you can buy they don't increase an expense beyond 3,000. Whereas the gold orbs, every time you buy them, they increase up to like 20,000.
Yeah,
they get pricey. So you'll have to pay way more money if you're playing on the easier difficulty and you're dying a lot. But gold orbs aren't given to you, but like candy and like they are in DMC5. They're basically exceedingly rare. You have to buy them from the shop almost exclusively.
Fuck. What difficulty was I playing now where Virgil kept kicking my ass and I just kept gold orbing back to life?
That's gold orb, yeah.
No, I know. Was that Dante must die? I can't remember fucking.
Probably was. I mean, I can't imagine you getting your ass kicked on like normal or it might have been very hard mode, but I can't imagine you doing it on normal or hard mode because very hard mode plays mostly the same way as like normal and hard mode Virgil. He's just a little bit more aggressive, and he just happens to be a little bit faker.
DMC3 had the best unlocks too. Very hard mode gave you a cheaper super. Oh fuck me! Hang on 1 second. Why is life pain?
Also, this guy said that like if your playstyle is to use Sword Master, you don't need to farm. I'm like, that's one of the things that you need to get to the highest level. Like, of all the styles. So, like, no. I mean, considering the difficulty curve, most people are going to be getting fucked by the Hell Vanguard and Cerberus. Especially Cerberus. If you sit here and tell me that it doesn't take you at least an hour to get through Cerberus in your first try, and you haven't, like, of playing DMC, and you've never played any DMC games, or at least you've only played one, you're lying to me. You are lying to me. I'm sorry. That does not... Like, maybe one of you got lucky, but the overwhelming majority of people don't do that. And they're like, all right, how do I beat Cerberus? Well, I don't have any of these other styles because I don't know about them. They don't have any weapons. They're pretty bare bones. So they're not confident in Royal Guard because nobody is, even people who play DMC3 regularly. Unless they specialize in Royal Guard, the timings aren't optimal. So either Trickster...
I actually always found Royal Guard's timings to be the easiest in 3 because it's the slowest game of the... Well, I don't play on turbo mode, mind you, but... Like,
yeah, no, if you play on turbo mode, you get fucked. But, like, I'm saying for, like, for 3 vanilla, which is on... Or not 3 vanilla, 3 SE, which is on normal speed. You don't have turbo mode yet, so... Yeah, but, like, you don't... A lot of the quality of life improvements to that game get experienced after you accomplish beating it for the first time. Because once you speed it up to turbo mode... You start realizing how much slower the game is and how much easier it is. Like, that knowledge makes the difficulty curve like drop significantly. But you have to get through it the first time for that to matter. Like you don't realize, oh, how little damage the enemies do because you start the game with less than like a third of your full health. So you get killed in like 7 hits from basic enemies. Bosses will kill you even sooner. And even if they don't, even if they take like 10 hits to kill you, all right, how many hits does it take you to kill the boss? When like your main way to avoid people is jumping or rolling, which rolling at the bad time gets punished so much in this game. Jumping can only do so much. I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, well, I always have Trickster. Well, no, because people want to test out different styles. I mean, if you have Trickster, all right, but that just means you can avoid it for a longer period of time. Most people are going to be like, well, I'm getting hit, so let's get blue orbs so I can survive longer to hit them more. Or if I'm using Gunslinger, let me buy these items or buy these weapon upgrades to make Ebony and Ivory do more damage per second. And then was like, hi. So, well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so some guy on the Reddit now is saying that with these new features, DMC3 is now objectively the best DMC game.
We'll have to see, but as far as like whether it's better than, I mean, it was already a better game than 4 with one style system, but like with 4 with like, or no, with one style system.
Really, the debate now is going to be between DMC fucking 3 and 5 is going to be the debate now.
DMC 3 and DMC 5. Well, it depends on if they do Virgil. Virgil for me is more satisfying to play than Nero but that's because I prefer his play style. I mean, Nero still has way more shit that he can do than Virgil. He takes a big dump on DMC3 Virgil. I'm sorry to people who love like DMC3 Virgil. I love him more than I love Nero, but like, I can't sit here and say his kit is bigger than Nero's. I can't even say it's comparable. I'd be lying to you and I'd be lying to myself. It's not. It's not even close.
You got Mangler, sometimes little white lies, you know, they're for the best.
White lies, yeah. So this didn't really make any sense to me. I didn't understand the farming part because even if we argue it an hour, like an hour of time, which is not anything in terms of farming. Anyone who's sat here and played like an RPG game, which is the comparison he's made, so it's fair for me to suggest this. Anyone who's played an RPG game knows feasible farming usually takes at least an hour, if not more, for a lot of your materials. It can depend and it can vary, but if you played like fucking World of Warcraft, if you played stuff like Souls, like it takes a while.
Dark Souls farming took me like fucking 24 hours to level cap my first playthrough.
Oh, we're not even considering that, but I was just saying, like, compared to DMC, if you're gonna sit here and tell me it takes even because like no one plays DMC3 casually and decides to go through mission 1 and mission 2 like 10 times. They might go through it a couple times because again, when you S rank it, you get 5,000 orbs. For reference, most of your purchases can be accomplished for around 4,000 to 3,000 at the basic level, and then get buffed up to 8,000 to 10,000. So if you do it like 3 or 4 times, not counting the orbs you get in the mission, and you S rank it, which is not difficult to do even for a noob, you're getting like 20 grand. So there's an incentivization to do that and be like, hey, this takes me less time than getting murdered by Cerberus, because again, or the Hell Vanguard in this case, because you could be stuck on that mission. If you're going to sit here and tell me that it takes an hour, even then you'd have to concede that this person who is casual to the game and understands this is taking 15 minutes to finish the first mission in that small room. Like,
I did not hard farm. I just kept replaying the fucking game. That seemed like a more convenient use for my time to upgrade styles than fucking.
No, it doesn't take 15 minutes. That's a lie. It takes less than 5 minutes, even on the lowest difficulty with the most casual person. So you can do it like literally like 10 to 15 times by the time an hour passes, which is probably how much time it's going to take you to beat Cerberus, because you have to go through the entire level to get to Cerberus. If you're playing yellow mode, which, as I said, most people don't know what yellow mode is.
Yeah, but again, with the whole internet thing, that's not going to be
internet, yes, but there's also a ton of... You need to understand, this is being marketed to the Nintendo console now. This is an even stronger argument for back when it was released on the other consoles then, because immersion is a thing. People don't want to be spoiled by any amount of details or effort. So They want to be very careful as to pick out where they're going on the internet. For this reason, it's extremely difficult to make the argument that someone would just
Dude, just go, just
like
watch
literally.
Game Ranks' videos. No spoilers.
I know, but like that's I know that because I've played the games before, but I understand what DMC is. I didn't ever want to look up anything, at least not until I finished the game through, because I want to accomplish it on my own. That's the kind of environment and culture that the game gives you, because that's the way it presents its gameplay.
Okay, Dark Souls, take it easy there.
What the fuck? You think Dark Souls? Dark Souls requires guides. Are you shitty?
I beat the games with no... Well, I haven't even beat Dark Souls 3 yet. I should go back and play that on stream. Haven't beat it yet.
Yeah, Reggie, my name stream is in the, if you happen to be in the Discord, it's in the general chat.
Hello, Triple XPS. Good to see you again. Once again, ignoring your education. For shame. So, full irregular custom was confirmed for DMC3, basically. I don't really know how else to say it.
Super irregular custom, as of what I'm going to call it. Max irregular custom.
Irregular custom? Times 2!
Ultra.
A regular custom.
It is, I would call it a regular custom version 2, because it isn't just a regular custom. Like, you don't just get all weapons. You get the dial, so you can swap to whatever weapon you want in whatever order on the fly, with presumably the frame timing of normal swapping.
Yeah,
so it will be instant.
DMC fucking 3 is gonna be like the fucking best game for a while until DMC 5 gets some fucking much needed help here.
It's like when you're sitting there, you're like, yeah, I've played this game so many freaking times on DMD, which I have like over 500 hours between like all copies of them, and then they're just like, well, when they add style switching and weapon swapping, and it puts all the time you put on there to shame, like. No.
My friend gave me a Devil May Cry 5 game for PS4, but I don't have PS4, well, not yet, lol.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool, but like also kind of sad.
Why would he give you a fucking PS4 copy of DMC5 if you don't have PS4
well,
yet?
Triple XP, if you have an Xbox One, DMC5's on Game Pass, so might be better for you to just sell DMC5 for the PS4 and just get the money to buy a Game Pass subscription, which, depending on when you're doing it, the Game Pass subscription is probably just $1 for like 2 months, because I keep getting them even though I've kept buying dollar ones several times every year.
Right now, I have a Game Pass offer for just 1 month for $1. I'll probably do it, but like...
Even if it's like not $2, it's still 1 month for like $1 compared to like buying a new console for a game you already own. Like, oh, you don't have your Xbox? You don't have any consoles? You poor child.
Or doesn't even have an Xbox 360? No, that's a sad day. Considering Xbox 360 was the best console of the last era.
Yeah.
By me.
I just found this conversation I was having with this guy hilarious, because he was like, I never heard of someone casually playing DMC3 and farming, and I'm like, I'm just sitting there like, do you know what happens when you farm? Like, you get red orbs, XP, you learn the mechanics of the game, you test out combos, and when you succeed at doing any of these things, you become interested in going back and playing them, because again, DMC... Okay, anyone in the chat, raise your hand if you considered Mission 1 or Mission 2 to be a good training area for DMC3. Like, or actually, don't raise your hand, just don't, like, let's be honest here. Who thinks Mission, you can tell me no, it's fine, but like, who thinks Mission 1 or Mission 2 in DMC3 is a good training area for that area? Because we don't have a training zone, so compared to something like BP or the other missions, I would say yes, because again, it's just a simple room with a bunch of basic enemies with no bullshit. DMC1's or DMC3's first mission is in a compact area. And I was just like, dude, you literally learn how to play the first mission, couple missions repeatedly, and you get orbs in the process.
No, I mean, like, when I first played DMC3, I instantly saw it as a training room. I just didn't feel like practicing for DMC3 because I played Virgil. We don't need practice. We just need a working B button, a working X button, and a working Y button, and we'll win. It's a very simple life. Oh, go ahead.
He was just trying to tell me that the reason, like, when he was playing his extremely casual playthrough, I for sure didn't do that. Even if a boss was giving me trouble, I just retry the fight and learn the boss's patterns and all that. That's just the way most people approach action games.
Yeah, because I mean, he's right. I mean, you can disagree with that, but he is right. Like,
no, he's not wrong. It's just you understand that it's not more imperative to learn the boss's patterns than it is to learn the fucking game. And people are not more interested in learning the boss's patterns than they are learning to play the game. Because if they don't learn to play the game, they can't play it efficiently.
Okay, so here's where I have to disagree. Your casual viewer isn't going to look at it that way. Your casual viewer is going to look at it, I'm having trouble on
I'm not expecting them to do combo maths or anything. I'm not expecting even modern play. I'm just expecting them to understand that, like, you know, jumping in the air is good for dodging attacks. Like, using Helmbreaker gets you down to the ground really quickly and shit loads of damage. Or that killing enemies quickly boosts your style ranking, or boosts your rank on the end of the mission, because the game literally tells you that it does on the screen. Like, his argument isn't bad, it's just compared to the burden of proof that I have, he gets shit on.
Mangler, you sound like you've never worked in retail before.
Oh. I mean,
yeah, my birthday is next month, Triple. That is correct.
Happy early birthday.
Yeah, couldn't have been born on Valentine's Day. Couldn't have had that sweet pickup line for girls like, "Hey, it's my birthday," you know.
I'm sorry. Did you want me to pick you up? I'll wait for that if you want, but like, come on. Don't preempt me like that on stream.
Well, I'm not preempting you. It's because that's what Triple said right there. If you check the chat. So
I mean, isn't it still January?
I mean, technically it is, but like, meh. Don't worry, Mangler. I won't hold it against you.
My dad just put like some message in like the chat that says like BGR.com, massive leak says PS5 is better than the Xbox Series X in almost every way, and he says, haha, in your face, and I'm like, I don't know how many times I've told you I'm not buying an Xbox Series X or a PS5. Like, I already bought a Switch. I don't care.
Are you gonna buy the inevitable Switch Pro?
No.
No? You're not gonna buy the Pro? What if it tells you it has 50% faster loading times?
No.
What if it tells you it has a 24-hour battery life?
Okay, the only game I bought this console for was Smash Ultimate. And I only had to pay half as much because I split it with my brother.
What if it has better frames to Smash?
They also said DMC5 SE would be a really smart move for the next-gen consoles. I agree and disagree with that, because that statement requires context. DMC5 SE would be a smart move if it gets released at least halfway through the next gen or further. Then they'll be able to make some money on it, because enough people will have settled with their previous gen consoles that they might end up transferring over to newer gen consoles. We saw the same thing happen with PS3 and Xbox 360. Doing it at the very beginning of next gen would be a fucking stupid idea in terms of marketing. Many people are comfortable with their Xbox Ones and PS4s, especially the Xbox fans, given that Xbox has been giving them so much shit over the last couple of years. PS4 players have never been more comfortable with their exclusives. Again, I will argue every day under the sun that their exclusives don't have the replay value that they claim it does, but they're not convinced that's the case. They aren't convinced that is the case. So they're convinced their console is worth it. So why would they take out a leg to buy?
I mean, even if you want to argue like that it doesn't have replay value, its initial playthrough is an experience, I would imagine.
No, it is. I'm saying, like, after that happens, and the kinds of mechanics that occur in that playthrough, I'm just saying they're not convinced that's the case. So they're convinced it's all good, fine and dandy. So why would they buy a PS5? If your argument is like, oh, it's backwards compatible, all right, good luck selling your PS4. Good luck convincing me that, like, 80 million people are going to sell their PS4s, and 80 million people are going to pick up them.
The only way I think next-gen consoles are going to sell really well on launch, like in comparison to last generation, is if there's a trade-in deal for your old console.
There has to, if there's not, no, this isn't, like, this SE shit isn't happening.
Well, no, I mean, you know there's going to be people who are going to buy a day one new console. It's stupid to do that.
There's going to be people who what?
There's going to be people who buy the new console day one. There's gonna be good sales, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, definitely, but it's not gonna be like. It'll probably be a couple million people at first, maybe like 10 million people. If we're including like a hardcore base, most likely 10 million, maybe a little bit longer.
I'm gonna argue that like we'll probably see sales numbers of at least 30 million for each console. I'd say Sony's probably gonna edge out because Sony fanboys are like gonna be on the fucking point there. But no,
I mean,
so
if there's not a trade-in, if there is a trade-in, it's gonna be much higher. It's gonna be close. I'd say probably 30 mil.
If there's no trade-in, backwards compatibility on disc, there'll be like so many. There'll be so many sales.
Yeah, you could probably argue half of the PS4s are going to be traded in if that happens. But like, even if that's true, that means like a significant portion of the people don't have a PS5 for the first like 3 years, and DMC SE is basically counting on a minority of those PS4 owners who make up the majority of the fan base, like 80% or so. You're counting on that percentage, which has been potentially cut in half, a minority of that major percentage cut in half, and like basically no Xbox players and maybe some PC plans picking up a new version of a new console and like a brand new game for something they've already owned. Like, I don't think Capcom's that stupid. They're greedy, but they're not that stupid, especially with the marketing decisions they've been making recently.
Never underestimate the power of a company that wants more money.
I do, because again, they let make the like that was the smartest decision they've ever made, and it was one of the greatest decisions a video game company has ever made, and that was after all of their fuck ups, and they're like, holy shit, this is a good idea.
Imagine
and then they marketed
it
to the
company's
Switch.
Ever made is literally just not fucking over its developer.
And this is a company that's gone bankrupt multiple times, or has almost gone bankrupt multiple times.
Honestly, I don't think I've ever heard Capcom can go bankrupt multiple times.
No, they've almost done it. They've been in like the tubes. They've been really close. They got close in like the 80s and the early.
I would imagine, Capcom over here fucking doesn't give the people what they want.
But imagine that Capcom, with that history and with how well some of their newer franchises are selling, or how well newer games, World, DMC5, and the RE remakes. Imagine that Capcom decides that, yeah, we're confident we can sell on a new console when we don't know about whether or not people can trade in their consoles. Do you really think they're that stupid to risk that marketing? If they're going to make an SE early in like the next 3 years, it's going to be on this gen. It's not going to be on next gen. If they do it in the next 3 years.
It'll be both gens, I think. I don't think they'll go exclusively one side.
Well, no, if they do it on this gen, they'll do it on the next one, but they're not going to do it exclusively on the next one. That's not going to make them the money they need. They'll need to release it on both consoles for it to matter. To pilfer all those sales. They won't have enough sales if they just do it on the next console and there's no buy-in. Like, if people have to buy it like up front, yeah, there will be millions of core PS4 fanboys and Xbox One fanboys that will buy their consoles, but like they don't make up the overwhelming majority. They're not even a third of the populace of their own demographics. Like, again, if you want some reference points here, the people who bought God of War, the game of the year, the best-selling game on the PS4, that hasn't even hit 10 million sales on their console. So not even 15% of PS4 owners have access to a copy of God of War.
What the fuck does Game of the Year even... Well, no, you're assuming because... Wait, do you mean like a new edition of God of War, or do you mean like...
No, I'm talking like just the God of War.
Okay,
and that was released
in PS4. I was gonna say, because if they released the Game of the Year edition for it, what the fuck did they add? There's no DLC for the game.
I don't know if they added a Game of the Year edition. I'm just saying, like, the best-selling game they have on their console is not even by a third of the people, not even 20% of the people that subscribe to their platform. So the idea that people who are comfortable with all of those exclusives and the value that they have, with no trade-in options, dropping $400 on a new console.
Well, now hang on. That's assuming it's $400. It's probably gonna be like $500.
No. I'm saying like even then they wouldn't drop $400. Like, because ask yourself, would you buy a Switch even if you knew it had the same games that your PS4 did? Like for $300 fucking dollars, would you buy that, knowing it would have better games? Even if it was more, let's say the Switch was hypothetically more powerful. I'm only using that because the Switch is $100 cheaper.
The The reason I'm saying I'm gonna say that's a bad comparison because the Switch is mobile. So you're arguing like, can I play my games
Well,
elsewhere?
let's say it wasn't mobile. I'm just saying like it's
no,
similar console, and it's just $300 or not $300 cheaper, $100 cheaper. Would you still drop that kind of money?
Obviously not. I don't think anyone in the right mind will do that. And I missed.
Yeah. So why would they drop $200 extra for a game for like brand new exclusives, fully priced? Like,
honestly, I think people might if the load times are actually true. Like, so I'm not sure if you've seen the load times for the PS5 and their tech demos. It's like not even comparable. The load time is practically instantaneous on even games like Spider-Man.
Even then, like, again, no trade-in option.
I don't see that. You're paying $400 to save like 10 seconds worth of time. So the question on the table is how valuable is people's time worth to them?
Yeah, because even if you did the math on that, I mean, yeah, if you're working a full-time job or like a part-time job, yeah, this money's not a problem to you. But for a lot of people who don't have that or are saving their money or trying to make every cent count, it's like, does load times really matter that much? Like I don't think any game's really worth that kind of money or any console's worth that kind of money. If you're gonna tell me that, like, yeah, a couple years down the line when they're on like sale with like a bundle, yeah, definitely, if you could trade in or you traded in for a little bit of money or you saved over a while, sure, I could see people picking up consoles. Absolutely. The console sales always spike in the middle of the gen because people have been comfortable with their last console enough to be like, all right, it's time for you to go. I had a good time, but I'm ready for the next one. And they trade it in for a little bit of credit after they've saved up some money and they buy the new console. This would be easier for PS4 owners because, again, PS4 is presumably backwards compatible with PS5 because they have the backwards compatibility.
I mean, Xbox is going to be backwards compatible too. There's no denying that.
Oh, no, yeah, no. I'm just saying, like, this is the first time they've been properly backwards compatible since the PS2 to the PS1. And
that was such good backwards compatibility.
It was, but like, it's just like, just the fact that it took them that long to do that, kind of stupid. So I'm just saying, like, unless there's a trade-in thing, I don't see an SE drop. I don't see Capcom doing this because Capcom, I mean, obviously every video game company paying attention to the console launches because it's imperative to them because they're making money off of the platforms. And I mean, if you want any better proof of these sales numbers, look at the sales of the HD collections and the fact that both of those were launched at the end of the console generations because they wanted to milk as many people as possible. One of them dropped in 2011 when the console gen started in mid to late 2006. The other ones dropped in 2018, which is only like a couple years away from the console gen ending. Like, they're trying to get as many people as possible. Even if you want to say they'll drop an SE version earlier, I mean, the only SE version...
DMC4 SE dropped back in the mid lifespan of the console cycle.
Yeah, it was like 2015 around August. Which is, again, like, the console gen started in 2013. That's like almost 3.5 years into it. But like almost 3 full years into the console gen. And even then, they released that after a reboot. So they probably would have spent more time developing it if the reboot hadn't been there. Not to mention, I was going to say, not to mention they might have released another DMC game if DMC4 had been fully developed. They might have released that in the 7th gen, in 360.
But then they didn't.
The only other example of this is the Definitive Edition. But the Definitive Edition was developed by Ninja Theory, by a different company, so that's a completely different example. The DMC3 SE was released specifically because the vanilla version was so damn difficult, people couldn't complete their game, even though they loved it. And so they were like, oh shit, this is impractical for our product. Let's release another one so we can milk even more at the end of the console gen. So my point being, they only release special editions at points either at the middle or at the end of console gens when they know they can milk people, not at the beginning. Only case being the Definitive Edition, when it was developed by a completely different company. So, if they release, granted, I've said I think they're gonna do DLC, but if they don't do DLC in like 2020 or 2021, shut up.
Let's be real. Itsuno's going to go fucking make fucking
Dragon's
Itsuno's going to
Dogma?
make Dragon's Dogma 2.
Well, if we have a confirmation that he does it, yeah, I don't think. But like we don't know what he's working on. That's the problem.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a bold prediction now. I know it's gonna be fucking a stunning prediction, the likes of which the world has never seen. It's Dragon's Dogma 2.
I think it's probably true that he's making it. It's just like the thing is, we've been surprised with shit before like this. So
Dante will now be a playable character in Dragon's Dogma.
fully playable character, like they just give him all sets from all the DMC
The actual playable character in Dragon's Dogma is gonna be Dante or Virgil. You choose.
Instead of swapping styles, which he gets the ability to do, he swaps to different versions of himself and then gets the kits from those Dantes. Like Dragon's Dogma DLC, Get Out of Hell includes Virgil.
Oh my god.
So if they don't release Virgil DLC in 2020 or 2021, we're not getting it. We're gonna get an SE. But if it doesn't, I'm saying if we get an SE in, obviously we get an SE this gen, we're not getting SE. Everybody knows that. I'm not saying I'm definitely holding my breath, but like I'm also not like stupid. Yeah.
I kind of hope they'll just announce a DMC2 remake for the next console generation.
I'd take that, but like I'd wait a couple years, obviously, because build my PC.
Oh yeah, so you decided to join the PC Master Race?
I decided to join the PC Master Race years ago, when I was playing on my laptop. I've been part of the PC Master Race. It just happens to be a less powerful PC.
Then you're not part of the PC Master Race. I don't understand why are you spreading these false accusations?
Well, hang on. Current PCs are going to be outdone by in like the next fucking like 7 or 8 years. And then PCs will again keep upgrading because they'll have the ability to do that. Your rig now is going to be shit on in like a console gen or two.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't have to buy a new PC anymore. I can just buy new like individual parts.
Yeah. It's nice, isn't it?
That's weird.
But it is kind of weird. Like if you're used to buying consoles, transitioning to the PC, even if it's really nice, it takes a lot of time and effort. You got to be willing to commit to it.
Well, I mean, what I'll do is I'll just probably find a professional to do it for me. I don't want to risk.
Yeah, that's good. Or get a recommendation from a friend.
Well, like I mean, look, yeah. So you buy the part and you just pay them like the $50 to install it, or
either that or you get like a list of recommended, and then you buy them on sale and accumulate them over the. And then you can assemble it yourself. But
I mean,
if you're not confident in that, just get a professional to hand it for you.
I'm gonna be honest here. I'll probably fucking I'll touch something and it'll blow up.
But find a good find a good price, obviously. And find someone you trust who can recommend you, someone who knows what they're doing. Yeah, Reggie, just buy a good PC. It's not that easy. These things require.
No, okay, so I bought a pre-made PC, but the problem with pre-mades, mine apparently was an exception because all the parts were like super expensive on their own, so I got like a steal. But no, buying pre-made always has some issues with it. Like it's either like not optimized correctly or something. Like there's always something with it. Or sometimes they'll just be poorly made. Like they won't like tape it down and shit. They won't like fucking organize it.
We glued it together.
Isn't that what you wanted?
You just see the glue sticking out of the sides of the tower, and it's like, yeah, and like the fans getting gunked up and everything.
Yeah, Darius was fucking garbage. Okay, so I bought a good PC, so I'm probably good till like next year or maybe a bit beyond next year.
Yeah. I mean, Reggie, I'm probably not going to talk on the MC6 until we get either an SE or a DLC.
Oh, Darius never played ranked.
Because I don't have any idea where they're going to go with the series with this. Because, again, they seem to be like remaking in... Hey.
What?
Stop being a dork.
I don't understand why people always give me shit about my fucking laugh. Fuck out of here, you fucking troglodytes. I'm over here trying. I fucking hate my bird too. I'm over here laughing, having a good time, and my bird's like, "Why are you fake laughing?" And I'm like, "That's how I actually laugh."
I could, I mean, I could predict when the DMC 6 is gonna come, but I don't know what it will be like about per se.
It'll be about Nero finally getting laid.
There's just like, Kyrie, I'm here. It only took me 3 games. I like my late 30s.
I like to think Nero is the uber virgin right now.
No, Nero ain't a virgin now. Let's be honest. Fucking.
Kyrie is just like, oh, Nero, could you come over here and take a look? Kyrie,
even if he is, he's definitely gone. Don't sex. Like, let's be honest. Life or death circumstances. That estrogen's gonna get pumping. Like.
Immediately
what can I say? Human beings like to fadoodle. It's just their thing.
My favorite headcanon, hands down, is when Lady starts watching them in DMC4. That's them just straight up fucking.
Oh my god.
That's why Dante and Trish start walking away, and that's why
Dante's just like, yeah, we don't need to see this, and neither do you.
Cause no, okay, again, so they all look at it, they all have this weird reaction to it.
Ladies is like really weird. I thought like, oh, maybe she's so cute because they're like young, but like the way that she like leans over and removes her glasses. What, did you have difficulty seeing that through your glasses?
Yeah,
I know you got shades on for the sun, but like the lighting can't be that bad.
No fucking way they weren't doing something weird. My other idea is they're really bad at kissing, and it's a really awkward like. Really
I think they might have just been really bad because again, they're both of them are pretty sheltered. Like, anyone who grows up in Fortuna is pretty. I mean, you have to be sheltered. It's literally an isolated, secluded society.
Unless we assume Nero's mom is a prostitute, in which case.
Well, they called her a prostitute, but we don't have confirmation. Just the kids at the orphanage bullied him about it and called his mom a prostitute.
It's probably because fucking Virgil decided to pull a inner city move and just leave the kid.
Yeah, and then she just got like lumped with a child, and everybody just like made fun of her.
So turns out Virgil was the one who should have had a skin change for DMC5.
Yeah, no, Virgil is the prostitute. His mother is like. Watch it be the case that his mother was like the most religious person in the town.
Virgil's like, listen, I hear you like Sparta. Virgil,
was like, oh, do I?
I'll be streaming for probably another hour, maybe a bit more beyond that.
Hi.
Someone is speaking. What is this?
Yes.
Oh, it's Pimp Demon.
Uh-oh.
Man, yesterday was a fucking trip because we ended up getting this guy called this guy webcam parrot ended up joining and just ended up like fucking my entire fucking perception of Final Fantasy here.
Oh yeah, I fell asleep because I was so fucking bored.
Yeah, I fucking know. I fucking called it. We were there fucking talking and I fucking straight up just name drop you and I'm like, I guarantee you Mangler's fucking asleep right now because he hasn't left the call and he hasn't said anything.
I mean, I think I was listening and I was just like, oh, and shit about
Fantasy. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't blame you for falling asleep.
Like, even 7, I'm like, unless you're talking about Dirge, which even then, like, there's so little to talk about.
We ended up discussing the MCU, and I was fucking, and we were debating Dormammu in the Dark Dimension for a little bit. I was wrong. They ended up providing scans to prove me wrong, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But no, like the debating community is full of aggressive people. Like, I guess like I'm one of the only people who tries to stay chill during these things. Cause like the second I said something said something weird or said something that disagreed with webcam, he straight fucking
Parrot said Parrot, like if you listen to him talk for a little bit, he seems like a nice guy, like his normal tone of voice, but then like when he asks you a question, he seems like he's a pompous asshole, like in his voice.
He seems like the
no!
Who bans Kale?
Wow.
No. Something.
Yeah, Parrot just yells no. He's just like a Star Wars no every time.
Bitch was in my game last game, so he knows I picked Kale. What a
like maybe it's different if you know him, because I don't know him. I'm not making judgments on who he is as a person. His tone of voice and the way he responded when
I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Because I did talk to him a little bit, but like I also fell asleep like 20 or so minutes afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Because it was late for me. and he was asking a question because Dormammu. I don't know why people brought up Dormammu in the chat because I was there for that.
Okay.
I was talking about Thanos. I didn't even mention Dormammu, and he asked if he thought it was stronger than Dormammu. And I was like, I didn't even mention Dormammu. Why the fuck are we talking about him? And he said it like really aggressively. Like, why do we care?
Okay, so what happened okay, well, hang on. I'll go.
Like, who gives a shit about Dormammu?
Okay, so what happened is we were talking about Thanos and the Infinity Gauntlet, and what we ended up getting into was could Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet beat Dormammu?
Yes.
Yeah, but we never transitioned to that because nobody mentioned.
Well, I was talking.
Brought him up.
I think I mentioned AP and something about Dormammu, and that's when he went into it. And so, why do you say?
No, because he asked me. He asked me specifically, and I'm like, I didn't even bring up Dormammu. I don't care about Dormammu. Dormammu's not relevant. I'm like, why are you talking about him?
Hang on, Reggie. What am I saying weird here? Dormammu? Like, what am I saying weird here?
Dormammu. Yeah, go play Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Learn to figure out this guy's name and his pronunciation.
It's Dormammu.
Manu.
His V card left and right.
Dormammu. Dormammu! I've come to bargain! Dormammu!
Nah, don't even try and...
No, okay, so the main argument ended up going was, and then they started talking, I'm talking about Mangler. Mangler, apparently you say it weird.
Dormammu?
Dormammu.
So, apparently, okay, so Neo's teaching me about dimensions right now, the dimensional tiering, but then Webcam Parrot was like, time isn't a part of the dimensional tiering. Time is separate from it.
Okay, that's stupid.
And I can kind of understand.
I mean, that's not actually entirely accurate. Like he said, time is in the fourth dimension, which not correct.
Okay,
like it's technically correct, but not in the sense that he's using.
He
it for.
Literally said you can be 11 dimensional and still not be above time in a dimensional sense.
Yeah, because time can affect higher dimensions. That doesn't mean that time is not in the fourth dimension. It's in the third dimension too. It's just you are able to access time a little bit more freely as a fourth dimensional being
here's the way I've
because
seen
of
it.
constructs
Here's the way I've
with
always
universes.
Seen it. Here's the way I've always seen it. It's time. Fourth dimension is the time, like beating three-dimensional time. That's how you become fourth dimensional.
Yeah.
The way Neo explained it to me, or the way Neo seems to see it, is that each version of the dimensions has a higher form of time as a result.
Yeah. And they have a higher form of space as well. Because they're time spaces.
Yeah.
They're linked to one another.
The way this guy was saying is there's not a higher form of time. There's just like one consistent time that goes above the higher dimensional tiering, but there can be more powerful versions of time, like true time.
Maybe this got a little out of whack, because again, the video making station that I joined initially started as a Sekiro stream for like hours, and then it transitioned into some people asking some other things.
And
I think we talked some Bleach.
Proving that V has infinite speed?
Yeah, we were talking about Bleach, and then maybe some Naruto, and then some other voices that I remember. Balrog jumped in and out.
I joined you when you guys were downplaying, what's his name?
We were not downplaying Grimmjow. We were not downplaying Grimmjow. Up,
All this down, dude. They were downplaying Grimmjow so hard. Don't they know Grimmjow scales to Ichigo? It's like they haven't even seen Chuck's video.
No. Hell did not read the novel.
Yeah, I know. Like a statement from him talking to Nelliel, saying like those numbers don't matter anymore. It's like, yeah, not as if Spada approved them, but that doesn't prove that he can beat Nelliel. I know that hurts.
My head, Nelliel just beats shit up.
I mean, yeah, no. If he has a second release, I would argue like Full Power Grimmjow would fucking destroy Nelliel even in her second release. But like, this doesn't like, so does Hollybell, and he's not the king of Wakamundo, and literally what he wanted to be. Like, he says it so many times. It's not relevant right now. We're
you saying he wants to be
topics. We weren't there to have a
Netflix
stream.
Live action adaptation of One Piece. That's happening.
I'm kind of waiting for the Avatar: The Last Airbender. You do you.
Why?
Why would I be?
No, a live action version of Avatar would be terrible.
Yeah, have you not seen the fucking movie?
Yeah. Do you know why the movie sucks?
Yeah, because they used 5 Earthbenders to...
No, because they fucked with the canon and they ignored specific instructions from the writers. that told them to do certain things. The original writers are on this live action. They're directing it in an episodic manner. They're not doing it in a movie. They're doing it in the same way it was done in the original.
Assuming every episode is going to be a live action episode, like let's go 1-for-1 transition. It probably won't be, but let's assume. I don't know, man. That's the set pieces, all the props, all the fight animation, or the fight choreography. I don't know.
The fight choreography is going to be probably different, but like the dialogue might be even better, and the lore might be better.
I don't know if dialogue will be better, truth be told, because live action adaptations have not exactly been the best when it comes to these sorts of things.
I understand your like concerns because of the movie, but like the movie bombed specifically because they were told like to do certain things and they refused to do that.
Name me a live action adaptation that actually improved upon the source material. Like I love an example.
That's not really relevant here.
I think
I'm just saying in the context of the transition of that source material to that movie, those people fucked it up. And they're not following the same path for this one. I'm not saying it's going to be amazing. I don't think it'll be better than the original, but I think it'll still be pretty good.
But will it be better than
I mean, okay, so maybe it could be good, maybe, probably not, but maybe, it's possible.
I mean, even if it were directly in between that and Avatar The Last Airbender, Avatar The Last Airbender in the original is one of the best shows ever made. And that's one of the worst movies ever made, so if it's directly in between them, it's one of the best average films ever made. All right, like that's still not bad. I'll take that. Something to watch. Should be better, obviously, but
it'll probably be better than the One Piece live action that they're making.
I mean that could be interesting too. We'll see. I don't know. Enough.
Again, dude, the real problem here is gonna be how do you show the Gum Gum powers?
Are you ready for Matrix 4? Is there Matrix 4 happening?
Yeah,
I thought that ended with Revolution.
Literally on the same day as John Wick 4.
How is that? How is that possible?
Keanu Reeves is a man of many powers. Some would call.
I was gonna say they're not getting a new actor for him, are they? Or are they gonna?
No, it's Keanu Reeves back.
So
I guess they're retconning Neo's death then in Revolutions.
No, I suspect what'll happen is it'll be like a program version of Neo, like the machines like kind of made him a new like program to teach people.
What matters is that we got the Reeves back. That's all that matters.
I would kind of hope that they bring, like, honestly, I personally, my personal hope would be they bring back Mr. Smith too.
Yeah, Triple. You can have. I mean, you can have either without either, but you can also have places like. So I've said that time is accessible to the fourth dimension. I've also said time is the fourth dimension, but what I mean when I say that time is the fourth dimension, I've never stated that it's exclusive to that. I've said that you can bypass it by getting and interacting with it, by getting into the fourth dimension. But this gets superseded by the fact that there are higher dimensions that also include time and space. There's also higher dimensions that exist that don't have time or don't have space, including ones that have only time or only space.
Fuck.
Yeah, so basically, again, this is where I think Neo's explanation was the best. The fourth dimension is breaking through three-dimensional time, and every dimensional tier above it has its own variation of time that's stronger than the last one.
No.
So theoretically, you could argue that the higher dimensions are just breaking through higher forms of time. Theoretically.
Hey,
Triple XP.
Oh no!
Well, obviously, Reeves the actor didn't die in Matrix 3, but Neo did.
Yeah. Okay, guys, come on. He wasn't fucking Heath Ledger.
He got killed in the Matrix and he died.
The fuck is Heath Ledger?
The Joker from The Dark Knight.
The dude with the
Brokeback Mountain.
Don't give a fuck.
For context, Heath Ledger was one of the gay cowboys in Brokeback Mountain.
Oh. Okay.
I'll be sure to look out for him whenever I see that movie. Never.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure none of you have seen that movie. I only know about it because I was going through like when he died. They had a collection of all his movies, and one of them was Brokeback Mountain. Well, none can say he didn't usher in a new era of. None can say he wasn't progressive anyway.
I mean.
Brokeback Mountain was such a.
I like to think that Joker is the kind of person that's like he's got that. What's that one line from Strider Hero when he beats you in Marvel vs. Capcom? This is what I think of when I think of Joker. like all are equal in the face of death. But then like some spiel about chaos and like
Add some chaos.
everybody needs to know more about themselves, and that's just the Joker. It's great.
The Joker is like the most dangerous psychiatrist you will ever encounter.
What are you talking about? He's the optimal psychiatrist. If you're not getting help from him,
take it easy there.
if you're not getting help from him, why are you even getting help?
I was gonna say, if you're not getting help from him, are you even really getting help?
Yeah, he's a clown. His job is to make you laugh, so he's got the benefit of making you feel happy.
Yeah.
So diagnoses you on psychological level and doesn't harm you in any way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
And then, for those of you who don't know, Dormammu in the MCU is an 11-dimensional being, according to the art book.
Dormammu is a fucking stupid cunt.
Dormammu!
I don't think the Batman who laughs would be interested in being a psychiatrist. Joker would at least come up with an excuse for why he would be, and then he'd probably involve some sick
The
game.
Batman who laughs has to be the single most stupidest character to come out of DC Comics in the last years.
In the last year, or like in all time?
I'm not gonna say it all the time, because I think there could have been an era where he could have been good, but in this particular era they put him in, he feels incredibly uninspired.
Triple XP, Neo did die. Like, it was confirmed he died. I'm saying, like, if they're making a Matrix 4, they might retcon his death, or as Zima, like a data clone or something.
I'm pretty sure it'll be like a data clone, and you know what? He'll be with Mr. Smith, and throughout the movie, they'll be like the fucking twins in fucking Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah, Mr. Smith just becomes the default Wesker, and he's like, yes, everybody loves me. Mm-hmm.
Mr. Smith is one of those villains who wins by losing. It's so fucking weird. Or he loses, or more accurately, he loses by winning.
No. He. Well, I was gonna say he also does technically win by losing in some of the films. Like, he gets. It's hard to explain, but he's like the guy that's like, yeah, I won Star Wars: A New Hope, and I do firmly believe if you strike me down, I'll only become stronger because the Matrix, and I am an agent.
Like what I've done with the place.
He
will always be like top 10 movie villains, not even fucking no question.
Top 5.
Mr. Anderson.
Honestly, he might even be top 1 when it comes to movie villains, like, because even though like Thanos is good, he's not really a villain. I know I'm gonna get shit for this. I always kind of saw Thanos as an anti-hero in Infinity War.
No, there's nothing. No, because to be an anti-hero, he'd have to be opposed.
No, okay.
Like to be an anti-hero, you have to oppose a villain in some capacity.
His villain that he's opposing is the cycle of life.
Well, you can't. You can be an antagonist, but you can't. Generally speaking, you're not the main antagonist.
Well, I mean,
because the main antagonist is usually reserved for a villain. If it isn't,
the main antagonist in that movie was Iron Man.
Oh,
I see.
Should have known. It was actually what's it called? Star-Lord, because he killed everybody.
I love that. There were some memes coming out where like it's like people in the Soul Stone after being snapped by Thanos fighting Star-Lord and just beating the shit out of him.
I'm gonna say it. He should have been sacrificed for the Soul Stone, not Gamora.
Well,
Gamora wouldn't have done that shit. We know this.
Yeah, but Thanos doesn't love fucking. He doesn't love the person.
I know, but like I would have been like. I still would have been fine with some bullshit way. If I had known that was the script they were gonna go with, I would have been like, all right. I know it means a lot more, and the movie doesn't work without Gamora dying for the Soul Stone. But like that just irks me so much that Peter's just like, yeah, this is the reasonable decision I should be making in this moment of emotion and weakness.
Thanos should have thrown his chair down.
Yes. But tennis is a fucking...
Now, actually, so a question here about a soul for a soul. Does that mean, like, you can't give up an inanimate object you love a lot? Like, does that only mean you can give up fucking another life? Like, what if you love nobody?
Well, you can give up something that has a soul, apparently. That's... Oh.
But...
Unless anyone's got some statements or something that clarifies.
You're uninspiring?
Yeah, Zim. Take that.
What the fuck are you... Oh, yeah, you're live streaming.
Uninspiring? Oh.
He's talking about your League gameplay, not like
uninspiring! I'm really on a fucking win streak! Get the fuck out of here!
I'm not even watching the stream, so like I keep pause so that I can watch the chat. So, because the chat
I'm
still scrolls
literally
down.
on a win streak. I've been dominating non-stop this morning. I'm literally doing like the best I've done on most of my streams this
Reggie,
morning.
Star-Lord did something wrong. Yes. You're very close to saying Star-Lord did nothing wrong.
Like Thanos.
Star-Lord. He's sexy.
Thanos in the movie was fine, but then the writers had to go and ruin it by adding more context to what the snap did. Because apparently, according to the writers, the snap also destroyed all like plant life too. But apparently, plant life came back way fucking stronger. So maybe that was all part of the plan.
I mean, he said half of all life, which would include biological life, which would include
given the context,
plants.
Yeah, but that includes plants and animals. But so Thanos' plan essentially devolved from, okay, I'm going to destroy half of all intelligent life, because that's what it was shown as throughout the fucking movie, because he never killed animals on planets, he just killed people, to, I'm going to literally half all resources and
yeah, that was his plan, was to half all resources so that people can...
His plan was to half all people, so the resources would be double, and they'd never be able to catch up again to the resources.
No, because he's not stupid enough to misunderstand the way that a food chain works. You require animals and you require plants to make a proper food pyramid.
Apparently,
without it to collapse.
According to the writers, no, he doesn't.
So, he has the sun.
Okay, so the ideal Thanos plan here, the way it should have worked ideally, is Thanos would have half of all intelligent life and leave everything else at the same level. This way, the resources will be doubled for food and such, and you wouldn't have fucking problems like fucking, I don't know, fucking...
For like 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, well, no, because again, oh, wow, I killed him. Wasn't expecting that.
Because technology and whatnot, people still needing to reproduce.
No, like, people are going to reproduce, but I guess the idea here would have been that intelligent life would not be able to reproduce fast enough to consume resources if the other side doesn't get nerfed.
I mean, even then, it would just extend the time to like a century, and then like everything comes back. It's a pointless action.
He was thinking universal scale, and I'm assuming there's more. Okay, so from our limited perspective, it seems like a bad idea. But from his character and him being a genius...
Yeah, I understand from his perspective, it makes perfect sense. Mangler, but in a practical standpoint...
It's a simple calculus. The universe's resources are finite.
I know. So many good quotes steal the hearts of so many. Unfortunately, they don't make sense in practice for those of us who have reason.
Well, when you get Thanos' intelligence to do the calculus, then you come talk to me.
Thanos is a fucking idiot. You should go make comics.
Well, Thanos isn't an idiot.
Mr. Anderson.
He's still a compelling villain. I don't think he's any less compelling. I just don't think he didn't think it's
this is my oh shit, hang on a second, guys. This is my problem when you have fucking people comparing it to the real world equivalent. Thanos is smarter than you. Thanos will always be smarter than you. If this plan works according to Thanos, this plan works.
Yeah, but you see,
Daddy's crazy.
That doesn't prove anything though, because his point was to convince people. He literally is like shocked in Endgame when he's like, "You should be grateful." Like he was expecting people to believe this shit, and they didn't. The first thing they did was try to kill him.
It's not that they didn't. It's not that they didn't believe that shit. It's that they couldn't let go of the loss. They ultimately failed Thanos' plan because Thanos' plan involved people moving on, but Thanos put way too much stake on people. Look, I'm not saying he was the best when it came to fucking people, but like in principle, his plan should work given the fact of how intelligent he was. Even if
it had a couple more steps, I think you could have argued it would have. Not as it is. I'm just saying, like, in theory, his practice is like it seems pretty good. I would even argue benevolent. It's just like problem is. It requires a lot more steps than what he put into it.
I'm sure, like fucking, if like he realized there was a problem, he would have snapped his fingers a couple more times.
I'm saying they could have made him even more compelling, added even more evidence to his claim, and that's the point. He already believes it, but I think the audience needed more.
I was gonna say, ironically enough, suck a dick. Hang on.
Jetstream Sam is Keanu Reeves. Fight me. Which is why he did nothing wrong. Jetstream Sam technically did nothing wrong. Keanu Reeves technically did nothing wrong, but they are not the same person.
Look, I'm just saying you've never seen Keanu Reeves and Jetstream Sam in the same room.
Well, I mean, damn, that's the strongest evidence I've ever seen. Debunked. I'm destroyed. I'll go back to power scaling fucking DMC2 exclusively for the rest of my life in shame and dishonor.
I mean, you'll probably find new information. It seems that new information
Same
pops up
smile
every
and
other day.
everything. Do they have the same smile? Like, I mean, Jetstream Sam's smile is pretty
The real
iconic.
question is, are they both breathtaking?
I mean, I feel like
No, you're breathtaking.
Oh, got him. I feel like Jetstream Sam though is like the kind of person in between every sentence you do want to like listen to everything he says, whereas like Keanu Reeves, you're more interested in whatever everything he has to say after he's finished talking.
I see.
Because you're too busy focused on Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, you're too busy focused on him. Like, whereas Jetstream Sam is just good enough to get your attention, and every sentence adds more. And then he smiles and you're like, "Oh, you got me. You got me."
That's where the trouble started with that damn smile.
Have you seen that meme of that? What's it fucking called that? It's like that girl from that.
I think the movie is the Wallflower thing, something like that.
It's something like Natalie Portman plays the actor.
That's Natalie
yeah.
Portman?
Yes.
I think it is, and she's like looking away, she's smiling.
Yeah.
And that cutscene after he falls down, he's just like that smile, and that's where the trouble started. Like, yeah, that's great.
Those movies were so fucking weird, Juno and shit.
Ironic how Mangler is us actually better than Zem at power scaling. What is that sentence, Reggie? Could you please like?
Technically, I'm technically better at power scaling. He's just better at formulating his words and arguments better.
How are you technically better at power scaling? Fight me.
You wanna fucking go? Let's fucking go!
I'm better than both of you.
Pam, shut the fuck up before I fucking give you the back of my
Is
hand.
this just like a measuring contest, or like what is it?
Listen, I
This
have
is-
more
is this do
knowledge,
better?
therefore I'm better.
I can come up with better
Do
arguments
you
for canon
wish?
and fan fiction. The
You
fight.
I can
fucking
argue.
fight?
But I can argue in Norwegian.
I can argue in Spanish and French. Fight me.
Nobody cares. The main language
I'm
we're using
white.
here is English. The main
I
language
can
we're using
pass
here is
off as
English,
white.
so it's not really relevant.
No, it's not.
Hang on, I'm gonna buy.
Keanu Reeves for DMC5 Dante. Reggie, did you not already know he has a cameo in the game? You just press a button combination, and then you like wait 3 years, and then beg on the internet for him to be like spotlighted, and then he'll get into your game. Yeah.
Console 1 month. Can I have the console 1 month for $1, please?
Is that the Game Pass thing?
Alright, no, Game Pass Ultimate is the $1 thing, right?
Oh yeah, it is. It's like out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be buy
Like, here you go.
Okay, my team's starting to lose. What is this? I can't fight this.
One
fucker.
gets angry too easily. True, but then again, you guys haven't seen me on Sekiro, so
It's not that
My-
I don't get angry too easily. It's that when things go wrong, I just have a little snappy snap.
But I get angry for like single player games usually, but then like once I have a handle on, I'm more excited than I am angry. I can understand why people get angry at multiplayer games because it's not just your contribution; it's like the people you're working with and working
The
against.
animals I'm working with. Let's get that statement correct here. These are not people. These are animals.
Yes.
Fucking boosted animals everywhere.
League says otherwise. Like, again, like it's a multiplayer game. I agree. Greater.
I don't get
degree for
fucking mad at
frustration.
DMC5. Come on, guys. Come on.
Is he angry at DMC5 than he is at League, though? That's the question.
You guys are asking a lot of fucking questions here.
Planet level Dante.
Bless you.
Gracias! No, not the fucking handsome son of a bitch. Oh, I'm still dead.
Oh.
Is it not good? Is it
Did
not
that
good
sneeze send you back to the digital age or something? Like,
What?
What are you saying, boy? Hang on.
there you go. Alright, your mic's quality is better now.
Instead of trying to get the fucking Game Pass thing. It's because so I already paid $15 a month for Amazon Prime. I don't even know why the fuck I do it. I don't use it all that often, but it's like.
Stop paying for it then, maybe.
Well,
Possibly.
it's like I might use it. I can point out when you rage playing Bloody Palace. Yeah, but here's the thing: Bloody Palace is Bloody Palace. You can't compare Bloody Palace. And I don't rage at everything. Come on, guys. I mean, look at Hollow Knight. I have fun playing Hollow Knight. Never rage there.
That's a later.
Sure.
Cue someone compiling every rage moment you've ever had.
You have to go
fuck
through every
yeah.
single fucking stream.
Which is just a league compilation.
A league
And then they can make a holiday jingle out of it, like.
I doubt my tone shift is enough in my yelling to actually do that. But,
I'd buy that. That sounds hilarious.
if you guys
Imagine
can
that
do
as a
I would be-
ringtone. It's just like the sound of Zima's ring.
Yeah. Someone out there who's listening, do it.
Just like I would make, if I could, I'd make all my ringtones just memes, and then like every ringtone would be different, but they'd be scripted. Wait, Zima, do you want to check out the feature for Mixer to see if like we can do a proper co-op?
Oh, hang on a minute.
DMC3?
I can buy 3 months of Xbox Game Pass for a console for $9.99. But that doesn't give me gold, does it?
No.
Do you want to test out the thing? Or?
Well, hang on, Mangler. I'm still in the middle. Mangler, can't you see I'm in the middle of League of Legends game? How the fuck do you get mad at World of Final Fantasy?
And he got mad.
You can miss hits, and that's rather frustrating.
I have never played World of Final Fantasy.
It's basically Pokemon but for Final Fantasy. That's the best way I can describe it.
Oh, that sounds neat.
No, it's a neat game. It's fun. It's just that So I don't know when you play Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, when you play Pokemon. But when you miss a hit you really need to land, and it always lands every other time, that kind of that fucks with you.
Mm.
I sound like a fucking psychopath. What the fuck? Stop this.
He's
I'm
turning me
just-
on.
I'm just waiting for Gods Must Die mode to be added to,
Look,
so I
man,
can become
look-
so I can become the masochist I deserve to be.
Alright, take it easy there, man. Look, you guys never see me rage at Yu-Gi-Oh! So, like, I mean, obviously,
Yes,
we're
we do.
fine.
Yu-Gi-Oh is a little weird though, because like Yu-Gi-Oh is based a lot on chance, and if we just pick like a really strong deck, emphasis on we.
Mangler's ringtone is him saying shit like, yes. I can see that being Mangler's ringtone. That's
Yeah,
like-
I'm just out in the grocery store. Yes. Yes.
That is Mangler's-
Yes.
You know, if you can actually set ringtones on phones, I might just set my ringtone to my voice. Like, just like fucking.
Yes, please pick up the call later.
Someone is calling you.
I'm the kind of person that won't put periods at the end of my sentences. I'll just make sounds
Oh, such a
like-
bad fucking play. Oh, I fucked that play up so bad.
because that's how I do things.
Mm.
Got the assist though. Look, man. I'm a lyrical, spiritual, miracle, individual, lyrical, spiritual. Look, man. See, the problem is I can't say like I only rage on camera because I actually rage like worse off camera.
Were you saying like a tongue twister there, or
It's a filthy Frank reference, you know. And it's been 3 years.
sounds like a tongue twister?
See.
It was supposed to be making fun of like up and coming rappers.
Oh. I never heard of it, so no. I got nothing.
I'm gonna get shit for that. There's no way.
What do I look like in real life? Certainly not as different as I pictured Zim. Well, for reference,
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and call how I see Mangler right now. He's gonna be a white dude.
wait,
brown-
hang on. Let me get, because I actually know the answer. Well, I pictured Zim with glasses. I think I pictured a beard, maybe a little bit of mustache. I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get as much of a mustache. Shame on you, Zim.
Shut the hell
Mangler.
up. He just doesn't fucking grow. Fuck out of here.
Beard looks great though.
This
Your
did,
beard's
this
awesome.
did not. This used to be fucking patches. This is not an easy fucking look to pull off.
But it looks good. Like
Okay.
Oh!
I was surprised not to see glasses, but you know, like
Oh, hang
whatever.
on a minute. Game Pass Ultimate for 3 months, $14.99.
Okay, so who gives a fuck? It's just a Game Pass.
He's skinny, in his 20s, white, and 5'8". I mean,
No, that's me.
I'm definitely white, definitely in my 20s.
He is white,
not
brown
skinny,
haired, and he's, I'm gonna say, probably a bit chubby. He's probably
And
like
he-
me.
5'9".
Yeah.
Glasses, curly hair.
Mm-hmm.
Stop describing
Definitely getting it all. I
Yeah,
have
bro.
all of these features. And
Someone make a composite sketch now.
You also,
Composite
you're
mangler.
also 5'6".
Yeah,
I'm 6
I'm
foot 2.
5'6" and 5'8" simultaneously.
Oh, okay, so you wear elevator pads. Gotcha.
Yeah.
For context,
You're doing it, guys. You're constructing a portrait of me.
Elevator pads is a term you use to describe someone who wears like fucking shoes that really emphasize their or really improve their height.
I have a massive inferiority complex regarding my height.
Yeah, I already
Not
knew that
talking
one.
about it.
And you have a massive
I imagine him and Seth look the same. A generic, the generic white guy. Is Seth the generic white guy?
I've never actually
Yes.
seen Seth. I've seen pictures of Clyde, but I've never seen pictures.
Seth seems
Seth.
like a fucking gym bro. He feels like a gym bro. He
Someone
feels like-
said he was Asian, but I think they also. So like.
if he's
Might be,
Asian, he is the whitest sounding Asian I have
Dude,
ever
there
heard.
are plenty of fucking Asians that speak with like any of the 10 different American accents that you could think of.
No,
are spoken
fuck
over
no, fuck no.
Yeah, there are
That's
so
a
many of
fucking
them.
lie.
It is not a
That's
lie.
not. Yeah, that's actually a real thing.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
not fucking.
Dude, do
Like,
you not
if you
know
just
how
heard
like
him
fucking
before
like
where he's white.
immigration works? Like, oh.
yes.
Okay, this is my account. This is my account. So we'll go ahead and we will. Oh shit, I'm back alive. We'll go down here and get some farm real fast. Sign out my brother.
Like, yeah, no, I know like a ton of different Hispanic people that speak more or less. They speak better English than I do. Like, so why wouldn't I assume that it's possible for like an Asian to do the
I've
same?
never met an Asian person who didn't sound Asian.
Okay, then
And
you
before
just
someone says like
You're
that's
probably-
racist or something, you
Well,
all know what they
no.
sound
I'm
like.
probably just gonna say you're like.
just haven't
Look.
met them yet.
You know what, dude? Maybe. I only have like 6 Asians in this town, so maybe they all fucking just sound the same.
That might be.
No, that's not
Yeah.
an exaggeration. That is not an
I'm
exaggeration.
Eminem, but my hair grew out. Does Eminem even have any hair? Isn't he like?
He shaved.
Isn't he just okay? Is it like really short?
Actually, I did have this one kid, because someone mentioned it. I did have this one kid say I look like Lil Dicky at my work. This kid just looks at me like, hey, has anyone
I
told you you
am
look like
a
Lil
ginger,
Dicky?
according to Triple XP.
He actually knew. That's a funny thing.
I actually just assume the
Technically-
majority of my viewers are black.
I do have at least one relative that was a ginger during their younger years, so I suppose that's possible.
Hey, gender, so their gender, like, didn't, like, their phenotypes didn't start showing.
No, ginger.
Oh,
not
ginger.
gender.
I was gonna say, how can you be a gender earlier in life? Like, do you just not, like, show the phenotypes for the specific gender you're part of? Because that's called a chromosome issue. That's like, I don't think that goes away with age. If it did, life would be easier for
Bold of
people.
you to assume I'm human.
I'll just go ahead and
Were y'all just giving out descriptions of each other? I mean, I haven't given you guys descriptions worth of shit. Like you have.
How the fuck did they lose? I literally got rid of
I mean,
that
no, I'm in
fucking
my early
team!
20s and I'm going through college.
You dumb
And
fucks!
I'm white. Wow. Just described like millions of people living on this planet.
Oh, lordy, what did I just witness?
Lordy, that's the first one.
Reggie, are you referring to? I mean, I'm pretty sure. What's his name?
Chuck.
No.
Swag.
No, it's not power scalers.
Oh.
Look in the chat. What's his name? What is his name? Hang on a minute.
Jontron?
Yeah, JonTron, that's what it was. JonTron's not on the Game Grumps. Unless you're
It was? So,
Aaron, but like,
maybe.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Aaron's not like, I don't think his beard's that bushy.
Mine is.
Unless Dan got like a big scruffle like recently and just came out.
I don't watch
Hello.
Game Grumps because I have taste.
I haven't watched them in forever. I just watched them in like a lot in like 2016, 17 because they were doing a playthrough of Dead Rising.
I want to put Tekken 7 download. Alright, Tekken 7 is gonna.
They did a playthrough of Dead Rising, and I was like, given nostalgia. So.
Alright,
Dave
so I will be streaming hopefully Tekken later today. I just bought Game Grumps for $14.
Ego Raptor. Okay.
$15 anyway.
Oh wait, Zim Bro. Oh.
Oh,
I don't know what his brother. I don't know what his
My
brother.
brother,
looks
I
like.
think, currently does not have. Actually, I think currently he does have a beard.
Well, Aaron
He's
still
your
does,
brother.
but I can't remember what size
You
it is. I know it's not big, but it's like, can't remember if it's like a 5 o'clock shadow or if it's like.
That's what she
Somewhat scruffy.
said.
No, he.
Sorry, Mangler, I fucking destroyed you.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Mangler is so stunned by the destruction I just threw his way that he just can't comprehendingly physically put it into words.
Sorry, were you saying something?
Oh, you think you're cute?
Bitch, I'm adorable.
Okay, so we're gonna lose the game. Yeah,
Yes.
I fucked up there. Well, I didn't fuck up there. My team shouldn't be fighting, but we're gonna lose this game. This will be the first loss of the night. Of the
You did
morning.
nothing wrong.
I did do nothing wrong.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
can all ruin that.
You're awesome.
No,
Fuck yeah.
it's his fucking team.
Yes, because they suck.
Well, Zim, do you want to do the? When do you want to do the thing? I got to test it with somebody. You're the only one I know that plays on Xbox that I can test this with.
Doesn't Newhead have an Xbox? Doesn't like everyone in this fucking call have it, or like?
No.
Beyonda doesn't.
Nope.
I would have tested with him a long time ago. Beyonda isn't part of the cool
me.
kids club.
So, I got an
Part of the-
apartment.
I'm part of the P club, not the X club.
Like,
He subscribes to a
PC or
different
PS4?
I'm the
Cool.
faggot, really?
Yeah.
You haven't seen enough Xbox memes.
Fucking.
Because the majority of people know that Xbox users.
Yeah, no, I've seen the memes, but we all know Sony
that
players
they're-
are
what, that they're
fucking
dumb?
sucking some dick over there.
Well, like, I mean, I could probably say that.
I've never heard of one Sony player who sucks dick.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure about that.
Hello.
I've never heard of one. I'm sure there is.
Dude, we've had conversations about how literally stroke Sony for all of their exclusives. That's literally the only reason their consoles sell. It's because of how much their fanboys are like, oh yes, give me God of War because its soft reboot ruins the entire quality of like the fighting system.
Not to the majority of
Fucking
people.
Sony fanboys are just there polishing Sony's.
There are a
fucking
lot of
dick.
them that I'll give it this. Like a lot of them just buy it because of the publicity, because Sony is like known really well all over the. But like the hardcore fan, every single one of them strokes Sony. Like every single one of them, in one way or another. Even if they do it less than others, I can prove some way.
We'll be playing Godfall while you guys are sitting looking stupid.
I mean, there are Xbox fans who do it the same, but it's not with the same degree. Because again, like they're more concerned with the features on their console, and like the things that their console has.
Shut the fuck up, Legacy.
Don't be fucking mad because I'm fucking right. Oh, have you guys played Pillars of Eternity?
The
Heard
fuck
of
is
it.
that?
It's an RPG, and obviously I got my answer there.
No.
The hell is Godfall?
It's a new PS5 exclusive.
Ooh, I'm gonna fucking post that shit.
Well, I mean, if it's anything like Days Gone, Uncharted 4, God of War 4, Spider-Man,
Let's play this.
let's see, Horizon Zero Dawn, or Death Stranding, I think I'll be good.
No. This one has gameplay. They've already. This one's like a hack and slash Borderlands.
All right, now it just needs to beat any of the DMC games for me to consider it.
Man, you were really picky, aren't you?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys, to do that to you. Like, that's how That's how it works for me as a customer. You got to find me a product that works, and
Yeah.
you're competing against third party.
The way I saw it, Sony is way more popular in Japan because they made it, and Xbox is more popular in America. Xbox is more popular everywhere, but Sony has like a Japan monopoly so massive you couldn't budget with no amount of money.
Xbox. Okay, Microsoft is. Even though Microsoft does own Xbox, Xbox hasn't done enough marketing to last as long as Microsoft does. Microsoft has been around since the 80s. Xbox has only been around since the early 2000s, and they didn't start doing expansive marketing until like 2007 when the 360
Yeah, because they
came out.
didn't need to, because they had the better fucking console.
Yeah.
And yeah, as much as
I'm saying because they haven't, it kind of hurts them in the long run for expanding to large portions. Whereas Sony has been doing it forever because they haven't had a
Mangler,
choice. They gotta
shut
make
the fuck
money.
up until you actually see the game. Damn, Mangler. Damn.
I mean,
damn, Daniel. Damn.
if you want to be fair, like, all right. But I said the same thing about Ghost of Tsukushima. I thought it was going to be good, but then I played Sekiro, and I'm like, my standard is set. Like, you can't beat this fucking game. You better fuck off right now.
Look,
Sorry.
guys. We all know the best game that's going to come out is
Elden Ring.
going to be Death Stranding 2.
No, Elden Ring.
What the fuck?
Elden Ring.
What the fuck is Elden Ring?
I didn't say Godfall was trash or bad. I didn't even say it was
about Elden Ring.
it needs to
I
beat
don't know what
X
the fuck
game
you're
weight.
talking about. That sounds like a fucking Elvish game.
No.
That sounds like a fucking Norwegian game.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'm not wrong here.
It's a game made by the creator of Dark Souls and by George R. Lucas.
That sounds like shit.
No, it's not.
Wait, hang on. I remember this game. I saw the trailer for it when it was first announced. Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
It only has a trailer. It's gonna suck.
No, it's not. So
It
I
is.
forgot.
It is.
Dark Souls is awesome.
Yeah, Dark Souls is awesome, but Dark Souls was awesome because its lore was good too, not just gameplay. Elden Ring is written by the guy who made Game of Thrones. And I hate to break this to you, but Game of Thrones would not translate well to a fucking video game.
But it's not Game of Thrones. It's just the guy that wrote Game of Thrones.
Yeah, and you think he's gonna write a completely different fucking story and fucking lore? No, he's not.
Yes!
He's gonna copy fucking Lord of the Rings like he's been doing for the past 10 years.
Maybe true.
Now, to be fair, that's not an insult. Lord of the Rings basically set the standard, and now we all have to play with the toys fucking J.R.R. Tolkien gave us.
We didn't even see gameplay for Ghost of Tsushima. Actually, we did, and that's why I'm saying like, But
So-
like again, if Tsukushima comes out, Ghost of Tsukushima comes out, and I've got like way more mobility,
Code
Sekiro,
Vein is the
or it's
best
even more
Souls-like
fun
game ever.
and better.
That
No,
could
it's
be
not.
possible. No, so Code Vein is not the best Souls-like game? What is?
That's easy.
God, that's the most
What is-
anime game ever.
What is BWC?
No, it's not.
What is that?
Not even close. It just looks
So
anime,
it's-
but it's not the most anime. No, I can show you more.
Okay. the
Triple
best-
XP. What are you saying? I love. I don't know what that is. I don't know what the acronym for that is.
It's probably BWC.
I mean, besides games like those simulator or whatever the fuck those chat box
I literally
slideshows.
have an anime game.
Best world
Those
creator.
games are the worst.
I don't know.
No. Okay, the fucking chat box games. Oh man, am I the one fucking up like our load time? Like, who the fuck's running the toaster right now? Your mom. Whose hamster needs to be put down and replaced with a new one?
Wait. Have any of you played RuneScape?
Yes, I have.
No.
I started an account
When
for
was
like
the
2
last time you
weeks, but
played
I
it?
Stopped.
I stopped. Okay, so I stopped playing RuneScape around the time RuneScape 3 was barely a new thing.
Oh god, so it's been a long time.
I wasn't aware
I
of
don't
Roost.
remember
I
Maple
was gonna
Story.
say, dude, I think that's got to be the most addicting game I've ever played in my life.
Triple
No,
XP. Look at you
RuneScape-
sneaking that in.
RuneScape
Also,
1.
sure, I like Zelda.
Well, yeah, they made, you know what old school is, right?
Just say fucking cunt Triple XP.
RuneScape 1 was
Have you heard of
fucking
old school?
Oh,
Yeah, have you heard of
school.
old school?
Yeah, that's
Well,
RuneScape 1.
yeah, right. But
Yeah,
it's
no.
actually good. It's way better than it ever was.
What the fuck did they change to it?
Dude, they added so many things.
I wasn't
Yeah.
aware RuneScape had
Like,
sequels.
It's like if they
No,
never
okay,
if they
RuneScape
never
doesn't-
would have ruined RuneScape, this is what it would be.
RuneScape doesn't have sequels. What RuneScape has is updates, but every major update just gets called a new version of RuneScape. Is that a canon?
Maybe not.
It's a game where you escape with your runes.
Pretty
There you go.
much.
It was a sex dungeon.
Oh, neat.
The end game is to get rune armor.
That's nice.
Where's your dragon? Where's your dragon armor, you fucking plebeian?
Code
Dragon,
Name is the best
Dragon's
Souls-like game
trash,
ever.
dude. You crazy?
Dude, Dragon was
sucks
fucking
ass.
beast. Dude, where's
Dragon
your adamant?
sucks ass.
Where's your fucking trimmed black
Dragon
armor?
ass.
If you're not running trimmed, are you even playing the fucking game?
Hey man, step up to bandos.
How about you fucking bring my fucking trimmed bronze, you fucking basic bitch? Get out of here with your garbage!
Where's your trim black? Alright, listen, Sarah Doman, alright? Take
Give
it
me
easy. Your cum-stained armor.
I am a Zamorak fellow, you fucking
No,
bastard!
no. You're gay Gothics.
What are you guys getting so pissy about?
Gothics? Oh, you son of a bitch! I don't want to hear this from you Sarah Domin fuckers! Oh, Gutix is gay, really?
You're-
Mr. fucking Zeus knockoff?
You're a Gothics lover, the worst of the worst.
At least Gutix is original, you basic bitch! Now,
He's gay.
nah, dude, nah. Gutix had that chill green, Zamorak had that chill black, and Sarah Domin's over here like I'm gay with chill blue. For context, his blue
Sarah,
sucks.
wait. What did you say was black?
Are you arguing fashion or?
Zamorak is red and black.
Zamorak is not black. It's
Zamorak
blue
is-
or it's red.
Zamorak is red-black. Like, he's red with black secondary. So, my bad.
Yeah, but the black is so minor.
I mean, like, okay, well, what cape are you using?
I mean,
Oh.
none of that even exists anymore. I'm surprised I remember any of that.
Because it was fucking
I don't
good.
play anymore either.
I don't play
That
either.
shit sucked.
The only MMO game I tried playing is Elsword, but I keep quitting, like, for months on end.
That's
Yeah,
pulsing.
I finally put it to rest.
only has
RuneScape
one
back in,
like.
2018. But it was so addicting. Like, it was a bad addiction. Like, it was actually the most addicting game ever.
RuneScape? Oh yeah, because you gotta spend fucking hours
It's so
nonstop
good.
playing the game. Oh, for
It's
anyone
so
wondering,
good,
this
though.
is like a fucking this is like a fucking free-for-all crazy mode. If you guys are wondering.
Oh,
like,
thank you,
stuff.
Triple XP. It's so nice to be loved while Zimble shitting on me every 2 minutes.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
I feel bad with him. He only has one like.
Yeah, he shits on you a lot, I noticed.
I shit on him just as much, and I
No, not
started
you.
shitting.
I thought
You
said Zim wrong.
you guys do not see what goes on off the streams. You guys don't know what Mangler's like.
Wait, what are you? Are you talking about like?
I'm like the guy.
throw shots,
I'm not-
how much
I'm
I
not-
fire shots at Zim?
I'm not talking anything political or anything. If that's what Mangler said.
Okay.
No, not including that. I'm just saying
Fucking
like
communist.
specifically like video games and shit.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
no. Me and Mangler go for fucking hours on debating. Shit like that.
and
I like
we
Mangler
certainly
more,
don't
actually.
die. Pimp
No,
Demon,
Reggie,
maybe
I've,
like.
I've noticed you like Mangler more, Reggie. Don't worry. I don't think there's anyone here who doubts that.
Okay, Sim, shut the fuck up. Manga said my name.
What?
You should pimp.
Yeah, I said like maybe like don't die. Like go get like I don't know, Kleenex,
Ah.
something, tissue.
I rather die.
Mangler, a tissue's not going to fucking fix the coronavirus.
I said something.
I was just gonna say that.
Something is better than nothing.
Don't know.
Also, Hong
you know that-
Kong is infected now by the coronavirus. I don't talk about.
Well, okay, we're not Reggie. I'm not counting like Zimmer. You did do that. With technically we had like. Okay, so
No.
if I said the total amount of arguments that I've had with Zim is more heated than like 1 or 2 arguments that I've had with his brother, that would
No.
probably be accurate.
Not even fucking close. Fucking
Yeah,
Mangler
because-
and my brother hate each other for some fucking reason.
No.
It
I don't
sounds
hate
like your
I
brother
don't hate
hates
your
him
brother.
more.
I dislike him, but I don't hate him at all. I just wish he would get on the Discord so I can talk to him. That's the problem. I just can't communicate with him. I don't have a problem with him personally. I don't know enough about him. I can't because he doesn't get in the Discord. I have more of a problem with you because I can actually communicate with
Mangler's just mad because I believe in the capitalist system.
What the fuck does that have to do with him getting in the Discord?
I guess everything.
Okay, so do you guys?
Your viewers are dying in the chat because they're laughing at the ridiculousness of this.
And you're like,
yeah, well,
sorry, I'm just spitting straight facts.
What facts? You're not spitting anything. You're being set on my fire. And you're like,
that's where you're wrong, Mangler. No, but yeah, no.
I'm so wrong.
Me and Mangler just have
apologize.
I'd say me and Mangler have a healthy relationship. You know, we can disagree with each other.
We have a healthy level of disagreement because there's an understanding and communication. There is no communication between me and his brother because he literally just doesn't get in the call, and he's somehow able to hear me through Zem's mic. What kind of hearing allows you to hear me through a mic, through a headset? Not even like, wait, actually, are you using earbuds?
Is a fucking weird person. No, okay, like, so the headset you see on the stream, that's the headset I talk to you from. That's my only source of audio, and yet he hears you perfectly.
Maybe it's louder than you think from the outside. Have you tried letting someone use it and then like listen to see if you can hear audio?
About fucking demons knowing Dante's so stupid.
Wait, Zim, have you tried letting someone else use the headset, like your brother, and then listening to see if, like, at higher volume levels you can hear anything?
No.
So.
No, we don't let each other use our fucking stuff. Fuck that. Fuck that noise.
I was gonna say it might not be.
We don't even like sharing fucking body soap, or not body soap, fucking hand soap. Sorry, I just bought body soap yesterday. So.
Hand sanitizer? Like really?
Oh, hand sanitizer. We don't use that at the house.
Well, I thought that's what you said by hand san.
Well, I said hand soap.
Oh, hand soap. Well.
I see.
Look, I don't want.
Don't want to catch that Ebola virus. Yeah.
Nah, I've been germaphobe for like the longest fucking time.
I got you.
But you're not decent.
I know. It's
Well,
so
are
weird.
you using? You're using a headset right now, not your.
This is the same headset he hears you from.
Okay, so maybe it might just be that the headset is not as sound isolating as possible because I've had here like that and I've never been.
No, guys. The stupidest debate me and Mangler have had, if that's what you're talking about, Reggie, has been when Mangler tried to say that fucking Sekiro was better than Dark Souls.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we've had a lot of stupid debates. If we're talking the ones on stream, I don't know. That one was relatively simple because we never really had a debate about that. We just kind of like went back and forth. Discussed it like we do on every stream.
No. I think the stupidest debate we had off stream was when I was explaining to you how Virtual and Thanos are the same character.
Just give the channel to Mangler.
That was irritating. Yeah, I would probably say that was the dumbest fucking argument. Like, yeah. Just give the channel to make it. Like, what's he gonna do, Reggie? What do you mean give the channel? What is he gonna like give me? And I'm gonna like, fucking like unlock the channel at like 2 in the morning. Like, here you go.
It's the fucking key. Good luck.
Like, I get what you're trying to say. Like, what did I do?
This is where things are gonna get a little mean here. So I guess I'll paraphrase this now.
Yes.
So when it comes to the normal videos, people don't seem to don't seem to go to the Mangler videos as much. When I mention Mangler's there. But on the live streams, he's pretty popular. So I think the situation here is people like interacting with Mangler, but they don't like listening to him for long periods of time.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah, so if I were to give the channel to Mangler, he would only be good in live streams based on the analytics
I would bomb.
we have right now.
I would destroy the channel from the ground up.
But
if I made my own channel, that'd be a little different.
Yeah, because people would be coming in for... Oh, no! No, you figured out the stratagem!
Okay.
Alright, got him.
I'm pretty sure the only reason they like me on live streams is because it's a little bit more free flowing. Whereas like in a scripted video, it's not as. It's a little bit more controlled.
Again,
and they don't like how unpredictable I am.
I think it's just interaction. They like interacting with you. They don't like fully just listening to you by yourself. Not like you're not interesting or anything, but that just seems to be the demographic at the very least
even if I'm not interesting, it's assuming all of the time on scripted video. Like you're talking a lot too. I mean, yes. I may talk over you here and there, but I'm. Sometimes people just don't want to talk in the scripted videos. Like I'm sorry. Like we're making a video for the. Like they gotta somebody's gotta talk. We can't just have 30 seconds of silence. Like every segment.
bullshit. I love listening to Mangler. I mean, Reggie, you understand that you might be like, I'm not gonna say you're an outlier, but that's like
Reggie,
your
you
personal
are in
preference.
the minority. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you, Reggie.
Well, Reggie is of a. Reggie did say he was of darker skin, so he is in the minority.
What does that have to do with
You're
listening
right.
to me?
Just out there. What do you mean? What the fuck? Wait, what the fuck? Are they still talking about Trump?
Excalibur's was the best debate ever.
Because it
That
actually
was like-
it actually succeeded in its goal.
Also, because Excalibur isn't like a super aggressive like asshole.
He's a
So
nice guy.
he's not like he's a very nice
Excalibur was
person.
a nice
Did you
guy.
just say I'm wrong? Did you just say I'm wrong, Mangler?
I
Yes.
said Excalibur, not Beyonder.
I
Those
know.
are two different names.
I know.
joke.
That's the meme, Mangler. That's the meme.
There
Yes,
is
he does
nothing
me.
in your name that equates to a sword that's legendary. You're retconning Beyonders. How could you get those confused?
MEME.
Yeah,
Excalibur.
we don't usually have debates on Discord either, or even like big discussions. Last night was actually kind of weird because we ended up having a shit ton of people in there.
We weren't even making a video. I just put it a video making station because video making stations are the top.
Video
General
making
chat needs-
station is essentially our general chat.
Yeah,
we need
just-
to move our general chat up there so that like when I go in, people can see that I'm in VC
Why are
if they're gonna
people
come join.
discussing politics in League of Legends? What the fuck is this?
because why
Maybe
the
they're
fuck
just
not?
Because it exists everywhere.
and they're bored.
Oh, shut the fuck up! No, it doesn't. I've heard that.
Oh
argument
yeah, it
before.
does.
No, it doesn't. Here. Oh, okay. Wait. Hang
Dude,
on.
go in every game you play that's online. I guarantee there's politics.
Yeah.
being
Oh,
talked.
okay. So you mean people?
Excalibur
talking
didn't
about politics.
become one of the boys.
Yeah,
Reggie.
yeah. No, I don't
We
mean like
assimilated
literal
him.
politics. I mean,
Excalibur is in the same position we put Devil at. He's like here, and we know he's here, but he doesn't get in too often.
We assimilated him. We like absorbed him in.
Never get me.
He's like. I did the same thing. If you guys are wondering why Devil, I absorbed. He's now a part of me.
I'm like the
I
guy
used him
just
to
fucking
achieve my
watches.
second form.
Oh, that's sad. Fuck me.
Okay.
Wow. Yeah, no. We don't talk to Excalibur too much. However, Pimp Demon does talk to him about Legend of Zelda all the time.
Yes, I do because
And he's still doing that Dante
Oh.
versus Link thing.
Yeah, so
Um,
MadPat's video about Link being the strongest video game character, that was clickbaity as hell.
What do you mean he was the strongest video game character?
He means like physical strength, not fucking, not like power wise.
Even if that were true,
like
like
lifting strength, you know, with contest.
I know, Steve wins. I don't know why the fuck anyone would even debate this.
Okay. So apparently, becoming 12 times stronger makes things stronger than Steve. Does that make sense? What the fuck, Matt?
and I'm pretty sure even if we're going over that, like Kratos has better lifting feats in Ascension. Like-
Not against Steve, because Steve has like blocks.
No, not more than Steve. I'm talking about against Link.
He makes
I don't know-
Kratos
I don't know
block.
who
Does he
Steve
say
is.
that? Does he say that Link is stronger than Kratos too, or no?
Yes, he does.
Well, I'm just. Oh wait. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't watch the video. I was just clarifying as far as like
I did.
Link feats.
I have not finished watching the video. I stopped it when he was talking about like the Eiffel Tower or something, and that's when I stopped watching it.
1/15th.
Wasn't aware he did that. I mean, he's aware that like Link is stronger in Smash Ultimate than in any of the canon of games, right? Like,
Yeah, but
yes.
he's looking at lifting feats from the canon games. He went with the obvious one. Oh yeah, I can do this. What the fuck am I doing?
because if that were true, then you could just look at the Smash Ultimate put in and then go look at, and it's like, I mean, there's literally people like most versions of fucking Kirby would just eat most versions of Link, no difficulty.
He will eat all versions.
Get in my belly, which is a universe.
No, it's a multiverse. Debate me.
No, I don't really care.
You're
It's-
fucking
Okay.
wrong.
Oh, hi, Balrog.
Oh, Balrog's back. Wait, how is Steve the
He
strongest?
got back from his blaze.
I feel like
Alright, that was pretty bad.
So
sorry.
Steve is the strongest based on being able to fucking lift diamonds or lift like full blocks of materials. And because he can lift an entire inventory's worth of them canonically in the game, that's like one of the best strength feats in video games, like just pure physical strength. If you want to include like scaling based on AP and shit, I think you can argue for Kratos being stronger, but like if we're talking pure physical strength.
Okay.
I was gonna say that what's it called? Did you check out Games with Gold? They just added Star Wars Battlefront 1.
Well,
The
I just got
classic
Game
one?
Pass Ultimate, so I guess I'll download Star Wars Battlefront 1. Does it have multiplayer or no?
No, but like again, if we check out the Mixer thing, I might be able to play that with.
Again, I think Mixer means you take control of my controller. Well, again, that's what we'll test. Obviously.
Again, it says play with one of your viewers. So either you use your control, I plug in my wireless controller, and you're able to use that. Like whatever the case, you should be able to use a controller. So
how big is his inventory? How many slots is Link? How many slots do you have in Minecraft? I think it's like what?
I can do
I think it's 24. I think you have 24 slots, not counting your actual main bar. I'm pretty sure it's 24. If you consider yourself a gamer, you have to know the exact number. Otherwise, you're just not a real gamer.
7, 8, 10, 11, 12.
you know the picture that he's using in the video
27.
theory is that's Toon Link or no, not Toon Link, fucking Wind Waker Link.
How many is it?
27.
Okay, so I was close. Yeah, okay, so he can hold 27. Well, no, not 27 diamonds, 27 64 diamond blocks. Because you can do that. Because blocks stack up to 64, and Steve can carry 64 blocks in every single slot. Now, is that including the HUD, or is that just your, like, backpack? That's also not including now that I think he can lift chests with stuff inside of them as well. And if you add that too, the number just gets higher and higher. Yeah, Steve's unstoppable. Steve literally has infinite strength. I'll call it right now. He has infinite strength.
Of course, have you seen the Austin video?
Steve over here is like, Steve over here is flexing on creative mode, like, get out of my way, peasant.
Wait, what's his best lifting feat?
Link's or Steve's?
Steve's.
Technically, it's lifting 64 gold blocks in every slot, but because now they added like ways to carry more stuff in your inventory, which you still have to carry, he can carry even more, and that's like super fucking heavy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Kirby has feats where he literally shatters fucking planets with his hands. By like chopping them.
But can you break bedrock?
Can you break bedrock?
If you can't break bedrock, are you even lifting, bro?
I mean,
No.
got me.
I know I did.
Absolutely got me.
If it's not, it's bedrock or nothing. Can you even chip bedrock, bro?
No,
Diamond
Oh,
Smash too,
Steve
don't
from
they?
Minecraft. I thought you meant like someone like actually superhuman.
Where in the fuck did you not hear me say Minecraft over and over again? Did that
I
just
actually
come out?
didn't hear that anyway. I just kept hearing Steve.
Oh goodness gracious me! What the fuck? Oh, you guys hear about Warcraft 3? Apparently they released it, and they basically said if you create any custom game on Warcraft 3, it belongs to Blizzard no matter what.
That's retarded, and they should kill themselves.
Yeah, basically they reserve all the rights to anything you create in Warcraft 3. And the reason they're doing it is because the MOBA game genre happened because of Warcraft 3, and they don't want to sleep on something like that again. Because if they had gotten like the MOBA rights like immediately, they would have dominated computer gaming completely.
Yeah, probably.
Are they not already doing that?
Not
Like-
necessarily. Like their MOBA sucks in comparison to like the other MOBAs. The point is
War-
there wouldn't
Warcraft,
be
like World of Warcraft, right?
no Warcraft 3. It's like a strategy game.
Oh, Warcraft. I thought you meant Warcraft. Warcraft? Because it's owned by Blizzard, is it not? They're the people who made World of Warcraft.
Yeah, they made Warcraft and they made World of Warcraft. Warcraft is like a strategy game in the World of Warcraft universe. But the thing is they didn't have the rights to characters, to people's custom maps and shit back then. They didn't ask for it. So when someone made a MOBA mod, and it took off into Dota and shit, Blizzard could do nothing as that happened, and that happened on their game. So now what they want to do is they want to make sure that doesn't happen again. And people are really pissed off about that. Along with the fact that apparently the game sucks.
I liked Warcraft, the first one.
Hey, when a game's ready to start, what can you do with that game? Do you know or no? This man literally just single-handedly won the game for us. Try hard. Hang on, let me check and see what happens. Can I play a little bit of Tekken just to like demonstrate how amazing I am at fighting games? Or
Can you test out Mixer with me, please? Please.
that would make people not make things in Warcraft. Will they at least get something? No, they get nothing. They get a shitty remaster. Where they get a shitty remaster, and then are told that if you make anything,
Are you still playing League?
technically.
Oh.
And then they said you get a shitty remaster, and then if you make anything inside our shitty remaster, you are no longer allowed to own it. It belongs to us now. Again, like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, how fucking dare they? Because I understand why they did it. It's just kind of like, that's a really fucked up thing to do. Oh, but I didn't come make this game.
No, Reggie.
Alright, no, hang on. Let me go in and well, it's because I'm still downloading the game, so. No, they don't have to buy it. Yes, yes, I know what I love. When I play a game, I love signing a fucking agreement.
No, that's fucking awesome.
Is it under their terms of service?
For the Blizzard thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
clearly put that in there.
Wait, are these acquirable? Are these like game modes via mods, or are they just made via like?
Yeah, game modes via mods and everything. Anything you make on Warcraft 3 is.
That kind of sucks. I was gonna say if it's via like a Forge mode or something, like no, get the fuck out of here. But like.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there is a Forge mode in the game, but yeah, no, anything you do there will be. So don't buy the game. Well, I'm not gonna buy it. I never cared for it, but people who did want to buy it are upset.
Yeah. God damn it, I'm fucking bored.
Fuck me, I just want to play a fucking fighting game that's not Dead or Alive.
Embrace the power of Tekken.
Well, I want to see if Tekken's actually all that in a bag of chips. That's why, cause I wanted to buy it for the longest time, but I didn't want to spend money on it because I already like Dead or Alive and I already have Soul Calibur. So I was kind of hoping to check and see like if I could like with this if it's worth the purchase or not.
Tekken.
It probably isn't. I'll be honest here. It probably isn't, but we'll see how fun it is.
I mean, you can just do it on rent it on Game Pass.
Well, that's why I bought Game Pass to try it out.
Oh.
See, that's interesting.
Hang on, let me see if I can fucking Oh, right, record. Wait, why the fuck do I have a record option? Like, I'm literally a gold member.
Who knows?
Alright, so let's start broadcasting. Let me see if I can't stream a little bit of this before I get off, because I'll be here for probably like another 20-ish minutes maybe. And then we can see if Mangler can take control of my computer with the spyware. Or not my computer.
No, it's not even Parsec. Oh my god.
Not my computer. Okay, my console.
You're the only one who has claimed it can spyware.
That's how they get you guys, man. The government's fucking with your guys' head and you guys aren't even realizing
Oh,
it.
man. Yeah, the government doesn't have control of your computer.
Your your tinfoil hats aren't strong enough.
My tinfoil hats only contain chocolate because that's what I saw in Scary Movie 4, and that must mean it's true.
Ah,
I don't know what the fuck this is. Okay, whatever. Let me play the fucking game. Oh, fuck no, I ain't no bitch.
I have Tekken 6, but like
Americans are fucking stupid.
Okay, so we can play this offline right now. Okay, arcade battle. Who can we play as? The HUD's already really fucking weird. Oh, well, that's nice. You can actually choose where to start.
do they still have survival battle on the main menu?
I'm not sure on that one. Okay,
It should just say survival battle.
everyone is accessible right now, or from the main game anyway, which is nice.
There's a bunch of DLC characters as well.
No. So I was also wondering if they were gonna let you play as the DLC characters on. Oh, Devil Jin's a separate character. Neat.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Sorry. He's been a separate character for a couple
Wait, there's
games.
2 different bears.
Yeah, there should be a panda and a
A regular bear.
yeah.
Yeah, there is.
And the doll.
I mean, they had identical movesets in Tekken 4, but I haven't played them in Tekken 6, so I don't know what changes they made in
I don't know
7.
how I'm gonna do the camera for this one. What can you guys see on the? Okay, so we're starting off fighting some loser in a hoodie.
Oh, I see.
What the fuck is a
That
rage
you just
art?
inadvertently described a lot of people in Tekken.
What the fuck is a rage art? How do you do these combos? What the fuck? Wait, okay, so does that mean Y and A is green? Yeah, it has to be. It has to be. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here.
All right, let's see this tragedy happen.
I mean, it can't be on a
Yes.
hard. I doubt it's on a hard difficulty.
But
Are you fighting in like a wedding dress?
Apparently
Wait.
so. You know,
with
Why?
a gun.
I don't know. Oh, what am I doing? Wait.
Oh, that's
Oh.
Steve Fox. Oh yeah, no, he's gonna box your ass to death.
Okay, wait. Hang on.
Just-
I did something there.
Keep punching me
What
out.
am I doing?
You're enjoying
no,
yourself.
Where?
Also, why did they change the health bars?
Fuck me. What the?
Oh,
Where's my
there are
grapple
regenerating
button?
factors. I see.
Oh my goodness! No, stop it! Oh, I can't. What the fuck? What the fuck is this game? How does anyone like this crap?
Don't ask me.
The fuck
I'm
is
talking
he
about
doing?
this is what like Dead or Alive ripped off.
No, Dead or Alive made it better. Clearly, fuck me. Okay, what the? Okay, we're just gonna keep spamming. Son of a bitch.
Talking about Tekken's like the king of fighting games as far as like
There's already a
people
game
like
called King of Fighters. Holy shit, we
king of
actually
fighting
won.
games.
Oh fuck me! I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I want to go home.
Final round.
Okay, so
fight.
I'm literally playing this like it's Dead or Alive, and that's clearly my problem because it feels so much like Dead or Alive. Oh, there's the juggling, the famous fucking juggling Tekken is known for. It feels too similar to Dead or what? Oh, what the fuck's
You
going
gotta
on?
jump more. Jump, shuffle back.
The fuck am I doing? Wait, what's going
Back
on?
off.
What the fuck? What
Back
the
off.
fuck did I do?
You died. Are you just button mashing?
Yes, I am. I don't understand how the controls work.
Same, I thought you were a good player.
I'll kill
Fighting
you.
games.
I'll kill you
Okay.
right now.
Come on, bring it. Go to Norway.
Reggie, is Yoshimitsu still busted in like his own funky way?
What is this stupid fucking
Because
game?
he was all right in 6, and he was like stupid in
so glad
4.
I didn't
So
spend, so glad I didn't spend any money specifically for this game. Like Game Pass gave me gold. Don't upload my clips to Xbox Live. Why would you do that?
oh wait, is it like Storm 4 where they upload your clips automatically?
It seems they do. It seems now there will be a clip of me getting my ass beat by stage 1 character.
Oh.
Oh,
Is there a way an option to turn it off?
I don't know.
No.
Of course there's not.
Bang.
Okay, so we're back in a promotion match. Okay. Okay, so I don't understand. Maybe is this character like hard to use, or is this like not a beginner friendly character? Like I'm assuming that's the reason I'm having so much trouble here. Seriously, why the fuck is this game? What the fuck? Okay, hang on. Oh wait, we're doing something. And he gets us out of it. Fucking hell. Are we gonna be stuck here for a good long while? Okay, hang on. Okay, I did something there. Okay, hang on. Oh, wait, was that a jump? You can jump in this fucking game? Oh.
Yes.
Wait, that was a roll. That was a roll. Okay, we got back. Oh, and he just did a power. Oh, that was my entire health bar. Fuck me, how the fuck does anyone fucking play
Why do I
this
need to
game?
connect to the internet?
What
This is
this?
weird.
What is this?
You just need to learn.
Oh, this is so fucking disgusting. No. Let's play as someone else. Kids, do we have to continue?
I know you can button mash a lot more successfully in Dead or Alive, but
No, you can't. Just that Dead or Alive, like every single button input leads to a fucking combo. Like if I go forward, back, or let's say I do this, like on the screen. You see on the screen how I'm doing this, and do B. That's a combo, but that's not a combo in this game.
I mean, you can do forward backs, forward. You can do like forward or not
I'm
forward
doing
back.
it, and all she does is roll. That's how I roll.
I mean,
I did a forward.
Again, it might be the character that you're on. Like there are different combinations of like punches and kicks.
Again, so like in every single game, like there's like basic combos for every character. At the very least, in the fighting games I've played, this could be different for others, obviously.
Yeah, and they have a command list. You can just pause the game and look at it.
Oh my goodness! I have to learn.
Yes.
I have to read.
What? I have to learn. What?
Okay, hang on. Let's take a look.
Learning is stupid.
No, it's not.
Don't do it.
Okay, so it looks like a lot of these combos are. Oh, that's a
Stupid.
clean sound. Okay, let's try this one. Hang on. That's it. Fuck, your
Can't
combos
connect
are
to your
shit.
DHCP server. The hell? Must be my internet service provider. Being a bitch again.
Do not kill me right now, please. Okay, I want to at least win fucking one match. Fuck me, we've already spent 2 minutes here.
Are you having fun beating up your child?
Yes.
And that's who you are beating up, Zen. That's literally like. Wait, are you playing Nina or?
I'm playing Nina.
Oh yeah, no, you're beating up your child.
Wait, Steve is her kid?
Yep.
This woman. Oh, fuck me. This woman has aged spectacularly.
Well, it has to do with the fact that during Tekken 3, she was put in like cryostasis or something, which kind of prevented her from aging for like 20 years. Because like the difference of time between Tekken 3 and Tekken 4, or it's either Tekken 3 or Tekken 4, or it's Tekken 2 and Tekken 4 is like 25 years. So yeah. Because Steve's not even in his, I don't even think Steve at the time of Tekken 4 is in his...
Edda Gordro was really easy to use. I mainly play Tekken and Dead or Alive for the women. Okay, so this is the way I've kind of accepted it. This is how I understand fighting games as it is right now. You play Dead or Alive for the girls in skimpy outfits. You play Tekken if you want to become a juggler. You play Mortal Kombat for special moves. You play Injustice for DC. And you play Street Fighter if you want to be a tryhard.
Yes.
That's basically the way. I can't think of anything for King of Fighters because I've never played King of Fighters outside of the mobile game. But King of Fighters seems to have a better roster than most fighting games, so maybe you play for the roster.
You play Tekken if you like the classics and you want to reclaim your throne.
No, you play Tekken for juggling. You want to become a juggler.
No.
You want to become a juggler in
No.
life, so you play Tekken. That's how you.
No, there's a ton of ground combos I don't recall.
No.
That
You
are
play
successful.
Tekken.
Oh wait, she's
Just
got a
like
gun.
games.
Again, maybe you
That's
never played Tekken, but like the earlier
Yes.
Tekkens.
She got a
Yeah,
gun.
the earlier
you just said
Tekken,
that.
which had just as good mechanics, don't require you to juggle. You can still juggle, but certain characters just don't have juggle combos that are viable, and they beat your ass on the ground instead.
Okay, it's same as racist. He's beating up a black guy.
Miguel's not black. That's a Mexican.
That's still racist.
I'm Mexican. It count. It's not. It's fine.
Oh, so you're racist. You're racist against your own
It's a new
kind.
forward kick.
What the fuck? What the fuck's going on? What did I do?
I don't know.
Oh. Okay. Weird. Fuck me. Okay. What am I?
Restart console. Why does he just kind of stand there?
You play king.
Well, because it's probably really his difficulty.
Fighting game bosses.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I guess she was gonna do something there. Can you not quit the tower? Like, how do you quit the tower?
You can't.
Wait, are you serious?
Well, yes.
You can lose.
So you're telling me right now if I want to quit, I can't do. What the fuck is that thing?
You have to beat the game.
Can't you also just pause it?
No, it doesn't
No,
work.
apparently, well, you can pause it. So yeah, I'm assuming. You play King of Fighters if you want to become good at fighting game bosses. Oh, okay, I guess that's why you play King of Fighters.
Sounds like
I was
something you
thinking
play
about getting
Souls or
King of
DMC
Fighters.
for.
Well, I think like for fighting game purposes.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say I was gonna fucking get King of Fighters 14 or see if I could play that, but it's not on Xbox. It's only on Steam.
I bet I could probably find some good fighting game bosses, but ever since I played Mortal Kombat 9, I have like
Okay, let's back out here.
trauma.
Let's just back out. Yeah,
Like
okay,
fucking
so
Shao
we
Kahn.
can return the main menu.
This
Okay.
is bullshit armor.
Oh wow!
Damn it.
You get a fucking chicky plate if you fucking Oh, we can't look at customization yet, right? Never mind. Okay, can we look at skins?
Well, the
here?
kind of stuff that you can do in
No.
fighting game bosses versus like RPGs is not really comparable because you have so many more opportunities to make mistakes in an RPG than you do in like a fighting game. Because you're usually, well, yeah, you're just on a 2D format. You can't like move. You don't have enough control.
There's no... Okay, so when the full game downloads, is customization a part of the base game or no?
That's a big roster.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I'm just gonna go through the roster game real fast. Well, these are the DLC characters only.
What do you mean
Man,
DLC
that's-
characters only?
Well, I'm currently like the one on top are DLC characters, obviously. James
Yeah.
Howard is from Tekken. He looks
Ooh,
disgust-
Marduk.
Marduk? Oh,
Yeah, the guy with the heel bazooka.
And Leroy's the new one. Negan, obviously.
Geese just looks like a bad. What's his name? Or not Volgan. What?
Yeah. Ninja just looks like a guy from.
Who's
Walking
the guy
Dead.
from Tekken 4 in the earlier?
Tekken.
That might have been Geese, actually.
No. He was like an experiment. His name is he basically wipes out like Yoshimitsu saves him in Tekken 4 in his storyline, and then he kills like the doctor that saves him, and then Yoshimitsu presumably kills him, or
Right, what?
I can't remember.
Bakugo.
Wait, let me just open up Tekken.
Cyborg?
Let me just open up Tekken 6 because he's on the roster.
I mean, if you have Game Pass, you can just look at Tekken 7, too. Oh, he's not on the roster, I guess, so yeah.
They got Lars. Yeah, they got people from Tekken. Lee is fun. At least he was fun.
I want to try another character.
This is insanely fun.
I know Geese from King of Fighters. I play the mobile game. I now know.
Oh
King
wait,
of Fighters
he's
roster.
from King of Fighters?
Yeah, he is from King of Fighters.
I'm just saying he looks like someone from Tekken 4.
Okay,
Like
so her Ray Jard is already simpler than what I was dealing with. Okay, I think we might be in for a good time here.
All right. Let me take.
Maybe
Oh,
she's from
Brian.
Fighters.
Brian, that's his name. He looks like Brian Fury.
That sounds like a King of Fighters character. Alright. No, yeah, because what I was gonna say, fucking.
Geese looks like Brian Fury.
Geese came first, so Brian Fury looks like Geese.
Shut up. Doesn't matter.
What language is she speaking?
Okay. Let me check the Tekken 6. Wow, that roster is big. Okay, so they have Kuma. Oh, they got Mokujin. They have Roger Jr. I have not seen Roger since like
that
Tekken
right
Tag
there.
Tournament
That wasn't
2.
on Nina. That was like a simple combo, just rush forward with the knee. That's not on Nina. That's fucking weird. And he has super armor. Wait, that's a grab? How the hell did I do that?
Is that Christy?
I'm playing as a character named maybe Christy. I don't know. Let me check.
Can't see her name.
Katarina. I think she's new.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I know Eddie, because Christy's supposed to be his apprentice.
Okay, see that this character seems to be fucking easier to use. At the very least, she seems more user friendly. What the fuck language is she speaking? All right, whatever. Not important. All right. I'll price it up with it later. No, you're against Eddie. You lost.
Yeah, only Kuma is in Tekken 6. There might be some DLC, but as far as the base game, I only see Kuma. There's no Panda here.
Uh, yeah. Well, I don't have Tekken 6. I don't have Tekken 7 either.
Who's the Panda? It should be on the roster in that one.
Yeah, the panda's on the roster here. Let me go back to the character select real fast, and then I'll.
Because I've got both King and Armor King here, but I've even got Roger Jr., which is interesting.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't want to buy DLC for the game if I don't like the base game. The only reason I bought Game Pass Ultimate for 3 months is because I know I'm going to want gold and Game Pass, so that's why I bought it. Tekken 7 being there was just like kind of like icing on the cake. And apparently it's pretty shitty. Well, I'm not going to say it's pretty shitty icing, but it's very clearly going to be icing I'm going to have to get used to.
Hmm.
Isn't Lars a new character?
I hope Lee is as good as 4.
Well, do you have Game Pass? You can just try it out.
Well, I'm saying about this game and in 7. Because, like, I loved him in 4. He was so fun.
Alright, so yeah, the panda is... the panda is right here. Panda. Their name is just Panda.
Oh, nice.
Panda and Kuma are just Panda and Kuma.
Kuma's got a name. Panda's over here. Like, the panda has more of a relevance to the story, but like, I know she's got a name.
Does Kazooie get his Devil Gene back before this game, or does he not have it back yet?
So in Tekken 4, when he gets brought back by G Corporation, he tries to get it back, but obviously the canon ending is Jin's ending, because Jin literally like beats the shit out of them in Tekken 5 and then leaves, and then G Corporation retaliates against Heihachi because he sent the Tekken Force to destroy it in Tekken 4, and then show up in 5, and then by Tekken 6, what's it called? Jin declares war on like the rest of the world with the Mishima Zaibatsu. I don't know what happens in 7, but I know Kazuya is fighting. Kazuya is fighting against them with like the rest of the Tekken, which is like half of the Tekken Force is defected, and he's like joining their group. And between them and the G faction and the Mishima Zaibatsu, there's like 3 factions that are all fighting each other in Tekken 6.
Yeah, but the only thing that really like gets done is that Hayachi ends up getting killed at the end of Tekken 7.
Oh, he finally dies? Jesus, finally.
Well, I mean, I guess we'll wait till Tekken 8 to confirm, but technically the final fight ends with Kazooie defeating Hayachi.
I mean, Kazuya did die in Tekken 2. He loses to Heihachi, and then Heihachi throws him into a volcano, but then like 25 years pass, and he gets like revived by G Corporation, so it's not impossible that Heihachi could come back.
Alright.
They also had Heihachi's father, who was in Tekken 5, was beaten by Jin. Man, I was like, how are you still alive when Heihachi's in like his 60s or whatever? Like,
Hayachi's like fucking 100 years old. What do you want about?
well, like Heihachi had black hair or whatever at the time of Tekken 2, I think, and then by the time Tekken 4 comes around, which is like 30 years later, he's got like white hairish, so I'm like, it's probably in his 60s.
All this Nintendo Switch DMC3 news is useless because I'm not buying me a Nintendo Switch, or I'm not getting hype over an old ass game that DMC5 should be getting new DLC, but DMC5 backburner so much hate. Again, I gotta agree. I'm not personally, I'm not the biggest fan that they're giving all this shit to Nintendo Switch. It's not really making the hype anymore. Anyone who was gonna buy DMC3 for Switch was already going to buy it, regardless of these features or not. DMC5 they put on back burner. Yeah, don't know why they did that, but that's just the way it is. But with that said, I'm going to end the stream here because I got to take care of things today. So thank you guys for your time as always. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Oh, actually, beforehand, who would I rather bang? Tekken girls or Street Fighter girls? I'm actually going to go with fucking, as of right now, I seem to be going with Tekken on that one. I don't know too much about Street Fighter. Well, that's it. Thank you guys for your time as always, and have a nice day.